Shit, I have it.
I had that game downloaded on my PS4 for like 3 years, and PlayStation. I could have played it at any point. I never even started it.
Hmm. I remember I just saw one of the podcasts where we talked about that game. Not too long.
I
Not
get,
too long.
I don't know. Some people say they think it was intentional because it's a dog. It's not like it should just follow every command, but at the same time, it's like you gotta put gameplay above like this idea you had of like dogs don't always listen, animals don't always listen exactly what you say. Like it's not gonna be pinpoint accurate to what you're telling it. But at the same time, it sounds like a lot of people just couldn't get over the frustration of that, and just the main characters movement is the animations. It sounds like it's really hard to do anything without like multiple
Well, yeah, he does
attempts.
have more of a ragdoll animation
Yeah.
stuff. Um, well, I mean, you'll see my thoughts eventually.
When it was first showed, I was a little bit iffy because I love um, Shadow of the Colossus at the time was one of my
Hmm.
favorite games, and um, I was looking forward to it. But then, you know, I think it was probably the early previews or some of the reviews, hearing some of the issues with controls and stuff. I was like, I don't know, and I just never gave it a shot because not like Shadow of the Colossus didn't have issues. That game was tough to when you're climbing and stuff, and then the button layout was ridiculous. But that game was so beloved. So, what's up, Lenny? We got ASAP
Yeah,
Pops in the
you
chat.
got T also put in last
Yeah,
party.
I do not have
Oh,
it,
yeah,
but
you put it right there.
don't knock your Star Fox. So,
There you go.
um, so I am 2 gold trophies away from getting a platinum on Returnal. It took me.
Damn.
I had
Damn. Damn.
6 ciphers left. I don't know if you collected any of those. So, how the game works, it's randomly generated, but the rooms are pre-designed, so it just randomly puts rooms together that are already pre-made. There's no random room. The rooms aren't generated random. Like everything, the same rooms pop up. They're just in different places, connecting different rooms.
Hmm.
And obviously your weapons, everything's randomized. So there's these ciphers, which are glowing runes on a wall in specific rooms. And on the second biome, I needed 2. I had 18 out of the 20. In the third biome, I had 19 or 14 out of 15. And then the sixth biome, which is the hardest, I have 17 out of 20. And I was at around 90 hours. Not all of it was hunting for that. I was also playing the DLC. You and I played some multiplayer.
Yeah.
I now have 30 hours. I'm at like 120 hours. 30 of those hours were spent just trying to get the ciphers. I've gotten 2 out of the 6
Jesus.
in 30 hours. So the rooms I figured out in the third biome I finally got the last one. The last upgrade you get is you see these white orbs and you can shoot them. It creates platforms. And by the time I got that upgrade, I was just going to be. I was working on biomes 4, 5, and 6 because that's where you start in biome 4 after a certain point. I didn't go back hardly at all, and the room I've narrowed it down to what room I need now, and it's some guy made a video 3 years ago saying it's like shows up 1 out of every 30. It's a 1 in 30 chance of showing up, and it takes at least a half hour to get to that second biome with a decent weapon and some health upgrade. You can't just go to the second biome
Yeah.
with the pistol. So it's
Yeah.
it's very time consuming, but I gotta say, the randomness of the layouts of the rooms and the weapons you get does really make the replay value, quite good. And
Makes sense.
I
Yeah.
caught my second wind. Obviously, I said last week was the 4 year anniversary. They just bumped up the resolution on the Pro and the frame rates. It was good before, but now it's just even closer to 60. I honestly, I think it could be my most played PlayStation game at the end of this year. I'm dedicated now.
Of all time?
No, just of
Well, yeah,
this
I guess
year
so,
in
right?
2025. I meant my gameplay at the end of the
Well,
year.
what would be? Yeah, but what would be your most played? If this might be your most played
Elden Ring's
place,
my
like
most played. Oh, you mean PlayStation? Yeah,
no,
it's
but it's
definitely
like
my most.
PlayStation first party.
Forbidden West is close with the DLC, but I think I've surpassed it. But either way, for
I
this
feel like it's
year,
surpassed. I
Oh
feel
yeah,
100.
I
I gotta
think
go
it'll be
back to
my.
that.
It could end up being my most played at the end of the year PlayStation
Damn.
summary. But either way, I'm dedicated
funny.
now. I got I got 2 more biomes to get the platinum trophy. So I got 1 more cipher in biome 2, which I'm focused on, and then I got 3 in the 6th biome, which that's a hard ass biome. I don't. That's gonna just getting there's gonna be something, but actually surviving long enough to try to find the last 3 is gonna be something. But only like 1 point. I don't even know if 1%. I don't know if it's a full percent have the platinum, but the individual trophies are like 1.6%, 1.7% for the last few biomes. So I'm being rare. I'm actually I wouldn't I don't know. I'm not expecting a reply, but once I get it, I'm gonna screenshot it and I'm gonna tag Housemark and just say, "Hey, got that? I'm one of the rare that got your
Got it.
platinum, you bastards." I wish, honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. Like they should almost put in like to have your final ciphers show up, become more that room show up a little more often, like when you're getting
Yeah.
down to the nitty gritty, because I might have even been on a run where it was gonna pop up, but I freaking died because I pushed my luck and got killed. So I'm pretty focused on it, and I just kind of had this revelation that the actual randomness of it does actually make the replay value,
Yeah, that would make sense,
significantly better.
especially for what you're doing.
Yeah,
It'd be like,
it would be real
you know,
tedious, but then they wouldn't have this problem if there wasn't randomly generated the
that too also.
rooms.
Yeah,
But I
true.
can't imagine playing through even my favorite games like this many times, doing this many, going through the
Yeah.
game, other than maybe Contra back in
I
the
mean,
day.
yeah, that's how these roguelites are designed, so just constantly just replay. So it makes sense, but
And obviously, you got to like the gameplay because it's not just the randomness. Because Hades, I just don't like the core mechanics, the core beat 'em up style
yeah.
combo system. But anyway, so that's what I've been doing. I barely touched anything. I think I told you last week. I think that was maybe after the past podcast. I got won the Super Bowl with my Detroit Lions and Tecmo Super Bowl on my Super Nintendo, and I haven't I haven't played the Super Nintendo since. So, I feel like
Starting.
I'm halfway through
Returning.
Super Mario World. I haven't played it in a couple weeks, but I was on World, maybe only World. Yeah, I think World. Was it 3 or 4? I got to. I don't remember. I do want to go through that game all the way, find all the secrets, beat the Star World and all that. All right, Lenny Wright has a question. Do you think Nintendo should have held back some games for Switch 2, like Tears of the Kingdom, Splatoon 3, Xenoblade Chronicles X, or even Mario Wonder? I'll say no to all those.
Yeah,
Maybe X.
those are like multiple years ago. All of them are multiple.
I
years
would
ago.
say the only.
Yeah, not Tears.
I would.
Splatoon 3, I think.
Maybe Splatoon
No, but
3
Splatoon 3 was 2022.
But it was very
Like,
successful. I mean,
ago.
just for my sake, I wouldn't have minded to have gone longer, and maybe I would have been interested in picking it up.
Yeah, then I'd be more excited for
you might be
Splatoon
interested
3.
in Splatoon 4 now.
But
maybe.
yeah, I think Echoes of Wisdom would be one of my ones I thought they should maybe could have held.
I think Xenoblade Chronicles X, like if they really wanted to, they probably could have just done that.
Well,
maybe.
when did that come out? Was it March 27th or so?
Yeah, it was March.
Was it late March, was it, or was it early March?
I think it was a little early. I thought it was, but I mean,
I thought it was kind of weird that they were releasing that. It was a couple weeks before the Switch.
That's right, because remember we were thinking that was like gonna be like there was something to it.
I thought
some Switch 2 date.
I thought initially with Xenoblade Chronicles X would for sure be out before we see the Switch 2.
Oh, it was March 20th.
So I seen people trying to be like, oh, didn't do 1 million yet, because Nintendo posted their fiscal results for January, February, March, which was the end of their full year.
It
sucks that Terrell's not here to read off and have us guess, but I'm
I
like,
mean, I could look it up.
It had 2 weeks. And it didn't make the million.
Yeah,
Are you like honestly expect that game this late in the Switch's life, a port of the probably the least known Xenoblade game?
Exactly.
Why does that matter? Like,
I think it definitely will hit 1 million.
So.
I just don't think in 2 weeks.
I think so too. But
yeah, I think it will.
But they haven't even. That would be a good one to get like an. Hey, this is getting an update, or hey, this is going to get a Switch 2 edition. Like, hopefully, like a free upgrade. I don't know if it needs the extra horsepower. I mean, it would have been I think it would have been a more impressive remaster or whatever on the Switch 2. It still looks
Again, we
good,
got to
but
break it down to the numbers.
yeah,
You know, obviously, not a lot of people got the Wii U version, so there's a lot of potential people that probably would have like
I
got
think as a
excited
launch
about it.
title for Switch 2, it might have done better than as a
Yeah.
late 8 years in, late at end of the generation port for Switch 1. Honestly, but who
I
Or
would,
knows?
I
maybe
would
it's the
agree.
worst selling Xenoblade because it's the worst Xenoblade.
Crazy.
But
Kinda
yeah.
crazy.
They
So
didn't, push, they
This-
didn't push it at all as hard as they did when it was on the Wii U. They like nuked the shit out of
Well-
that like on the Wii U days.
I think it sold 1 million or close to it on Wii U.
What else could it? They got nothing else to show for Wii U. Of course they.
But yeah,
of
it's
course
like,
they promoted it on Wii U.
remember that Switch 1 Direct the week before the Switch 2 Direct? Me neither. I couldn't tell you one thing that was shown.
Right, I
Other
can't
than
remember
I remember
that
it.
Tamagotchi
thing.
Life
Come
or
on.
whatever.
Tamagotchi Life, Rhythm Heaven Groove.
Okay, but other than
That's all
that,
we
Nobody
need.
was gonna
Yeah.
Forgettable.
remember that stuff.
Xenoblade Chronicles
Other
X.
than that,
I think
Yeah,
either
but my thing again, that's you could say that about so many directs if it's not talking about Nintendo titles. Like for Nintendo wise, I was like, doubt.
But no one's
it had
talking.
nothing- It doesn't matter
one's-
about Nintendo.
They
That's
could
not
have
the point.
showed fucking. They could have
point is
revealed
they
a bigger
drowned
game,
out-
but Switch 2 is all anybody's talking about because of all the information we.
Right, that's the point.
misinformation.
It's not the point about it being non-Nintendo games. The point of it is that it got drowned out, which we all knew that shit was going to happen. Like, why did you do this now?
It should have been
You know, like-
earlier. Like Xenoblade Chronicles X probably should have came out
Right.
earlier, and like they put out 2 ports and within like a month and a half or
I
whatever.
didn't remember a goddamn thing. You just said Tamagotchi Life. What was that thing? I don't remember a damn thing
Oh man,
off the top of my
that
head.
thing sell a ton, man. That first one on 3DS sold what was it, 7 million?
It's
or
gonna be
something.
another.
And
It's gonna be weird though. Like
I'm not dissing Tamagotchi Life. I'm saying I have it.
feels
I
like
love
a
it.
I don't think it's
It's
gonna
just-
sell a
it's
ton if it's
I don't.
just
I didn't
Switch.
even remember. I liked the game, and I didn't remember that shit was at Direct. That's what. That's my point. Is like, damn.
I
that
don't
shit
think
got
it's gonna
drowned
sell
out.
a ton as just a Switch 1 game though. I don't know. Unless
I think because it's backwards compatible. I think you'll see.
I
it.
guess-
Like, I think it's a different sort of era. Like I think people will see it as like you could just pick it up.
they
play
need
it,
to
and switch
reach.
to it.
They need to do some. They should have done. They should have done like an Xbox Smart Delivery type of branding for some of these games.
Yeah, it should have.
I mean, Smart Delivery didn't last that long because they didn't. The games, you know, their games went away from Xbox One a lot
I mean,
sooner
we'll
than
see.
I
We'll have
think
to
I
we'll have
expected.
to see. You know,
But come
although
on, like,
literally the only title that's gonna sell that well would be Tamagotchi Life, so that would be the test. I don't see Rhythm Heaven selling.
It's a
too
good
No.
much.
game for a new console. That's a
Tamagotchi
good.
Life, just make it Switch 1 and 2 or logo or something. Just it doesn't have to be
Yeah,
a Switch
playable
2
on Switch
edition.
2.
Just have it be.
Maybe they will.
That's all you gotta do.
Still
Playable
a
on
year
Switch
from now.
2. Slap that shit
Who
on
knows?
the thing. Playable on Switch 2.
Just
It might though. Again,
playable
that's
on
a year
Switch,
from now. We don't
Switch
know.
and Switch
They're not
2.
sure yet.
Like one version, and just no confusion. Because you know, as much as we like to think, you know, these 150 million are going to keep buying games. It's just the way things go. I mean, maybe this will be
They
different.
probably kept it. They probably kept it off the Switch too, just because they're killing the Mii's.
You're not killing the me. What you mean?
They got
Oh,
to.
they're gonna kill the Mii's.
I don't know. It's the same It's the same menu system. So maybe
it's the
we'll have
same
to see
menu
if the Mii's are in there. But
And
I
regardless,
don't
like
see a
again,
reason to kill the
Tamagotchi
Mii's.
Life is like their biggest me thing, and it's a
I mean,
brand new game.
they also
Right.
said, you know, like, oh, the icons. There's like 200 something icons, double what the Switch has.
What about it?
there's pre-made icons, so you don't have to
Yeah,
spend hours trying to download.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with these? I don't
haven't seen Mii's in Mario Kart or
A
anywhere
huge
yet.
part of Tamagotchi life is the Mii.
They
shit.
have to
That's
have
what it
Mii's.
Yeah.
is.
It's literally-
Otherwise,
it's
why would
literally
you?
your me.
I don't think it's a
Tamagotchi.
game without Mii's. Like if you
No,
can't
I know
create,
that's why I think it's just on Switch 1. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you could play on a Switch
it's gonna be
too.
playable on
It's
You
not
Switch
like,
can
too.
play it on the Switch too.
so you
but
have
it
to be
doesn't
able to make
same.
Mii's to make it
You
playable.
got to accommodate for the Switch too. That's the point
Yeah,
he's making. You got to accommodate for the Switch
AKA,
too.
you'll
Unless
be
you
able to make your
unless
game
you
on
make
Switch
them
too.
in the game, unless you make them in
Yeah.
the game and save them.
Yeah, you'll make them in the game. No, they'll probably. Well, I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But aren't like
Actually, yeah,
NPCs and shit like pop up as like
Because they used to
Mii's that you have?
you used to grab Mii's that you had on your system, and then you could
Yeah, from
like.
your save. Yeah.
So Robert, I
Yeah.
remember you were like, I think it was me and like Beyonce in your game were like dating or something. It was just
That's
so
right. I
random.
mean, it was. I had some.
That's what
crazy
makes it.
random
That's
shit.
what made it cool. You know, like they have to have
Yeah.
that.
That's a huge part of the game.
But
Yeah.
like you're talking 2026 for if it's Switch One, it's just a weird time. Like I mean, yeah, 150 million Switch owners, and maybe by that point there'll be 20 million Switch Twos. But it's just the way people's minds work, man. The new things out, even
Make
if
that big for Switch 2 and say playable on Switch 1. That's all you need to do.
I'd be shocked if like.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you still get a million seller. Some of these games will be a million seller, but I'd be shocked if Tamagotchi was like a big seller. Just unless it works out where people are like I have a Switch 2. I'm gonna buy Tamagotchi, but it's not a Switch 2
I
game.
mean, I expected it to do really well, and I mean, I expected it to do really well in Japan alone. It was literally like, for at least like Twitter wise, it was literally their most liked tweet ever. like in general, like over the Switch 2 reveal and everything, Tamagotchi like what was their most liked tweet. Like it's going to be a big deal. I feel. How big? I don't know, but I mean, I feel like even if it sold, 5 million on like that would be like, damn, that's really good for a Switch 1 title in 2026. I don't know. Well, I mean, I'll be curious. I think they might do something where
Maybe
they put
Nintendo wants
Switch
to
2.
continue. They will continue selling Switch 1 because there's a lot. The profit margins are nicer on that business. They can make more money selling Switch 1 than Switch 2. So maybe they have a plan like they did back in the day. We're like, oh, the Nintendo DS is not going to replace the Game Boy Advance yet.
It did immediately.
Like a year, maybe a year that shit lasted, and the Game Boy Advance was out of there. So maybe they have a plan like that. It's like they're going to still make nice profit on the original Switch.
But you gotta also
so
consider
they want to still support it.
the effects of a late generation. Like Xenoblade Chronicles X, that probably the worst case scenario was to put that out this late. Like last year, 2 years ago, I think that easily does 2 million.
Why so late? Why so late? Is it just didn't have the teams? Like it's super late to put that game out. But I'm glad it's here. But still,
I've been waiting to.
So well.
I haven't touched that. I haven't even turned it on since the Switch 2 Direct because I'm just like, I'll just wait for the Switch. If there's a Switch 2 upgrade, I'll just wait.
I'm waiting on my Switch 2 upgrade, bitch.
Perhaps
there might not be one, but
there might not be one. Yeah, I don't know.
So,
but there is that 60.
It looks like it feels like it looks better. I'll just say that. It feels like it looks better on the Switch 2.
It definitely looks better than hooking the Wii U up and running that 720p on my TV, on the same TV. And it was darker too. It was way darker. I was surprised the Wii U version looked like dingy. Maybe I just needed to change some settings. I hooked it up the same place my same input the Switch was hooked up to, so it shouldn't have been an issue. But
you don't like it dark.
It just looked, it looked like my TV's brightness dropped by about 60%. It looked really bad. Smash 4 looked incredible though.
He doesn't like dark things. He doesn't like dark stuff.
I like dark meat chicken. I like the dark meat. What's up, TriLink? What's up, Aries? What's up, Mr. True? Lil Cray.
I'm trying to see, there are some of those like the sales numbers. If there's any,
it's interesting because Nintendo's their expectation for the Switch in the next fiscal year is like 4 something million, and they're still like 8 million away. So it's gonna be close. I don't think they're gonna hit the PlayStation 2 if the 160 was legit. I don't know if the Switch 2.
I think we'll hit it. It just will be late. It'll be still a couple years down the road.
If they're thinking 4 million for this fiscal year, you got to probably cut that in half the next year.
Even then, even if you cut it in half again the next year, like
I don't know.
I still think you'll be able to make it.
I guess it depends on the Switch 2's availability and all that pricing and stuff.
Drop that bitch down to 200.
They really should, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah, because
PlayStation 2.
When everybody else is struggling, it costs $800. You could drop that Switch 2 down and sell gangbusters, or Switch 1 down, sell gangbusters, and have some kind of hardware sale, nice hardware sales for the holiday.
What was I gonna? I was gonna talk about
Okay, so did you see? Oh, I don't know
I
if you want to
saw
talk
the
about
sales, but I want to say the thing that made me happiest was 3D World's now like 15 something million. I think that I didn't expect that game to get that high, honestly. I think it deserves it,
Mm.
and I was happy to see. Even as a Wii U port, it does give
What
you
did it do on Wii U?
like
Like
4,
6 or
almost
something, right?
5. It was
Oh,
like
4.
4.5, and to me that's like, I know it's not the same type of game as a 64 Sunshine or Odyssey, but I just that to me was the most replayable.
Yeah. For me, it
Um,
was. I know a lot of people feel
yeah,
that way, but
I love playing that
that
game.
was the next 3D Mario for me. So.
If Ayers is here, he'll probably tell us it was the secondary team. He like seems like he always says stuff like that, like he's like got connections with Nintendo and knows, but I always doubt it. But I don't think there was anything like I don't think there was any like surprises in the tops or the new updated sales.
I mean, I gotta say, I didn't realize that Switch Sports sold so well over the last quarter or whatever,
Did it?
because it sold 3.2 million
What's it up
over the
to?
last quarter, and it's now up to this says, where was that? Should be 16.27 million.
Damn.
What?
I did not expect
Does
that.
anybody
And I
here
gotta
have
say,
it?
I enjoyed the game a lot. And oh, I don't know.
You got 1 out of 4.
What?
I ain't got it. It's
I
1 out of
actually
4
really
right now.
Did they ever add
it's still
tennis
fun with
or
multiplayer.
table tennis or regular tennis? Because that to me is like that's the must-have.
Well, they have regular tennis, but
It
but
has
like
regular tennis.
you know, like, yeah, it has regular tennis. But what I like is the like the whole idea with just having online like makes it so replayable. Like I love the was it like 16? I think it's more than 16 player bowling and you and you gotta like
The
keep
speed
striking
bowling.
perfect. Yeah, it's so good. I love that shit. And it really is a really fun game. I get, people look at it as like the Wii Sports Resort like it's a downgrade to that specifically, and I do understand that. But man, I when I play that
Not
shit,
specifically
I
a
just
downgrade to
I'm
that.
flying by.
It's
I'm flying by. It's so
barely an
good.
upgrade to the original Wii Sports.
No, it is an upgrade. Don't even say that. It's
It
definitely an
started
upgrade
with
to that.
like the
That's
same
kind of
amount
rough.
of games, and they added like 2 games to it. Sure, visually it's an upgrade, but
In the online,
I'm
but
telling you, it's an upgrade. One, just by having online alone and having the customization, and literally every single time you like, everyone is like different because you have your own like things that like cosmetics that you can unlock that you don't have to pay for like battle pass, but you just unlock through it. It's
Yeah, I
it's
don't want
a
to give it
exhaust
credit having
speed, man.
online, man.
it's a game
So
changer compared to.
1999.
It-
That's what we had in
No,
1999.
I get it,
So
but if we're comparing it to the original Wii Sports, as in if it's an upgrade, I'm telling you, I would play that way more than
I
going
don't know.
back to
I
Wii
just
Sports.
don't. I never. I had to. Only thing I'm curious about is how it actually
Wii Sports on
plays.
Wii U had online. I ain't had to say
Yeah,
they ain't
but
had to
that
talk
wasn't
about it.
done well. It
No, it
wasn't.
was
This is
shit.
literally legitimately done well.
No, it's
Like
terrible.
Man,
I'm
just
just
adding
saying.
online is not. You need like at least double the amount of games, and it started with I think
no,
literally all the
not
exact
double.
same games
No,
without
double.
boxing.
And then the one
Double
they added
double.
didn't even look that good. Like, what did they add? Like volleyball
They
and
added
Soccer.
basketball, which I like a lot personally. I
Is
do
it,
That's
love
is there
new,
8
though.
basketball.
games?
What? Yeah, there's 8 games.
How many different games? So that's double the amount of Wii Sports already.
well, yeah.
What you talking?
At launch, it had
Yeah, but
what
it
get it.
didn't
five,
I get it.
launch
six.
with all 8.
It
I
didn't
think
have
it was
golf
eight.
and
I
it
It
think
didn't
it
launched
was
have
with
basketball.
6.
basketball.
It didn't have golf launch?
No.
Oh,
It didn't
fuck.
have golf and basketball.
So is
Yeah.
that on the
You
on
didn't
the cartridge?
say anything, bro. You
Look, at the end of the
Nintendo's
day,
about anything. There ain't no golf.
well, if there's any sport that I can leave it out, it's definitely golf for me personally.
For me, it's
But
boxing, baseball, and tennis were my favorites. Obviously, bowling was fun, but as far as like just,
I love bowling.
I'm like
I
the
love the
person that like
bowling and
golf.
the boxing, man.
I didn't like the
Boxing
boxing.
was. I love the boxing.
I
Yeah.
will say Wii Sports is
I
Wii
mixed
Sports
out on that
Resort.
shit.
Wii Sports Resort is still the best because it's just the bigger, fleshed out product, which is the frustrating
I didn't
thing.
think the table
But
tennis
I would put
was.
this over Wii Sports to me.
I didn't like that table tennis was the replacement for tennis and resort. Like I would have liked them both to be there because table tennis was cool. It just wasn't as, I didn't like it as much.
What was that cheap ass game that they put in? What just to sell a Wii remote? What was that shit on Wii?
We
What was it
play.
called? We play, right? We had
That's
tabletop or table tennis. That shit was trash.
We play was probably
Shit
to
was
the
so
level of
trash.
the Switch 2, whatever that thing's called, the $10
No,
tour.
are you about to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that they would charge $10 a day for We Play
Oh,
on
Welcome Tour?
Welcome
Switch
Tour is
2.
probably to the level of We
Yeah,
Play. Maybe
Welcome Tour.
No, it would be way less. We Play was a genuine minigame collection. Like
We Play
well,
had some
there's-
games,
Tour has
but
way less
it
most
seems
of
like
it
World Tour
was
has
trash.
mini games. I just don't know how many.
No, it's not mini games. Like, yeah, I guess we don't know how many, but like We
Pretty safe.
Play. Yeah, you had the Wii remote, but like, I mean, for what I was like, there was genuinely unique mini games. Whether you liked them or not is up, is different. But
Yeah,
it is.
I didn't like them shit. It was trash.
We did have a variety of mini games and actually a decent amount. I feel like.
They were so like barren and cookie cutter. Like oh man, this is literally tell me a Wii remote. That's what this shit is for.
Really,
I bought that shit. They got
played
me.
again. I was a kid, but I played at a ton. You know?
Yeah, okay, you were a kid, so I give you that. But like, I genuinely tried to play Wii Sport or Wii Play, and I couldn't remember the name just now. So
It looked like-
I didn't care.
You had the tank mini game, which was fun. You had the
tank man, like that's Atari level. That is some like Atari tank bullshit. Like that was
Yeah,
so
but you had a whole
barren.
single player little
So
mission
bare
on that.
bones.
That was cool.
What's up, Donnie?
All
Where's your
things
boy at?
different-
What'd you do
That
to
shit was
Terrell,
cool, but
Donnie?
like,
Terrell was
It's different
exhausted.
Welcome Tour. I would say. I
wait,
think it's
don't
different.
sound right.
Yeah, I was just wondering where Terrell
What'd
was.
you do to Terrell,
Boy was
Donnie?
exhausted.
He's exhausted.
So all right. So I want to bring up something since Terrell's not here, so we can play a little game. So last week he told us that he was not going to be able to be on the podcast the Monday after the Switch 2 comes out because he's going to be too busy gaming. And I asked him, what the hell game are you going to be playing that you can't make the pot? And he didn't answer. I think I figured it out. I want to see what you guys think the game is. So we got to look at the launch lineup.
I know what it is. You could play a Pokemon
Welcome
game
Tour.
at 30 frames per second finally. That's what he's going to be playing.
So Scarlet Violet.
Yeah, he'll be playing Scarlet Violet at 30 frames finally. Yes!
Honestly, I do want
maybe,
to.
what if we check the friends list and he's playing Welcome Tour, man? He's like,
I think I
Oh,
know
he's
which
setting up
game
the
it
moment.
is. But let's look at the launch title.
I'm not be playing Welcome Tour. I'm coming at
All
you.
right, so Mario Kart World, you got the two Zelda Switch 2 editions. Welcome Tour, Split Fiction. What's this? Deltarune chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cyberpunk.
Maybe you're going to be playing Cyberpunk.
Street Fighter
Be playing
6.
Cyberpunk.
Kanutsugami. That must be Japanese. Sid Meier's
That's the,
Civilization.
was that Konami?
Hogwarts Legacy, Bravely Default, Flying Fairy HD Remastered, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, Fortnite, Fast Fusion, Hitman, Nabungaga's Ambition,
Nabunagas?
Oh,
Nabunaga's. Okay,
Nabunagas.
never heard that. I didn't know
Nabunga.
that was a game. Survival
Nabunaga's.
Kids, Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, Arcade Archives, Puyo Puyo Tetris. I'm sorry.
Ridge Racer's a launch title? Oh my god.
Ridge Racer is
So,
always a launch title.
Out of those
It's-
games, what
it's
do you
a
think
launch title.
Terrell has to?
Arcade Archives Ridge
Terrell's already planning on not being on the podcast. One of these games has to be the reason.
Ridge Racer.
I mean, I think it's a new console. It's a lot of games. You're just gonna be playing a lot of stuff. If you literally want me to give you a Robert answer, select one game. It's gonna be Bravely Default.
Exactly.
No,
That's exactly what I think.
Oh,
There's
it's
no
absolutely gonna be
Bravely
Bravely Default.
He loves Bravely
You
Default.
better not buy that shit. You better not buy that shit.
You already said he was gonna buy it
I don't-
digital, even I think.
He
I
did.
mean,
I
Yeah,
saw
but
that
I-
cute
I
ass
couldn't
like
imagine
chibi
he's, like,
girl,
all the
the
time.
silver dress. I'm like, yeah, Terrell's buying that. He's playing that.
Oh, but it's Bravely Default. I mean, people love
He already has that shit. Why is he buying
Yeah,
it?
that's
Terrell's
why I
not
know he loves that
Against
game.
rebuying a game and playing it, I think so. That's my theory.
And I didn't know.
Damn.
You know what? This Ridge Racer.
You're probably right.
There is a Ridge Racer. Oh, Arcade
It's
Archive.
Yeah,
Arcade
it's
Archive
Ridge
Ridge Racer. What,
I'm
from the
sorry, this
arcade,
wasn't
like,
what I
really?
wanted to talk about, but as somebody who has, who's not stuck just on a Nintendo system for the last 8 years, this is one weak ass launch line. I'm sorry. Like,
No.
there's some decent games in there, but as far as
Well,
like
compared to the PS4's launch,
this
lineup,
feels
they
like
had
very
Knack,
weak.
Killzone, and whatever that.
This
shooting
feels very
game was.
Wii U, like filled with a lot of games late, games that have been out on other systems. Obviously, Mario Kart World's better than anything Wii U launched with.
I was gonna say you're gonna have
That's what I'm
Mario
saying.
Kart
Like, that's the
at
best.
launch.
I know you guys are not viewing it yourselves as like a Breath of the Wild thing, but I totally view this as a Breath of the Wild thing for me.
I think Mario Kart is massive.
No,
It's
see,
the
Breath of the
biggest
Wild-
selling game.
Okay,
Mario Kart's gonna be massive.
I'm sure
for
it's big. I'm sure it's big and massive, and all the
Big
words
massive.
you can come up with that sound sus, but it's still a racing game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I love race games, but after a little while, I'm kind of done with it for long periods. Is what I'm trying to say. Like I like to play. I like
and
to play
you can
them
buy
in
Street
some-
Fighter.
but that's just me. I don't know. Maybe some people can sit there and play a racing game.
I think
for
it's
8
gonna be
hours.
hard.
I can't do it.
I think it's
I
gonna be
did it
hard.
with Mario Kart 8, man. I played that shit for all weekend.
Okay, like I
24
just said,
hours.
maybe it's me.
Definitely Mario Kart because Mario Kart 8. I mean, I played a ton, obviously, but I already had other games I was playing on the Wii U to be the main. Every time I boot my Switch 2 up for the next, I don't know, month or so, like I
It
feel
don't
like
be that 'cause it's digital,
I need a side course or something. I kind of need to split my time.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
guess
maybe I'll be
everybody
wrong.
does-
Maybe I won't want to
everybody
split my
does
time.
I like
I
having a
get it.
variety at
I
launch.
could
I don't know how
understand
you
that.
guys are. I like having a nice little variety. Can I get an
So
adventure?
basically,
game?
I'm looking at this
Can I
as
get a racing game? Yeah.
looking for my
I think
looking for the other
every
game.
launch game.
Yeah.
I only get like 2 games usually at a launch. I think on Wii U I got Nintendo Land and Darksiders 2. Those are my 2 launch
Not
games.
even New
for the
Super
Wii
Mario
U.
Brothers
Really?
U? That's crazy.
I don't think I,
I
had
bought
that one on launch.
7 games at the launch for Wii U.
But even then,
Some
like
of them I regret.
I feel I feel Mario Kart World. I'm gonna be playing that like I'm playing Skyrim. You guys, man, I can play that for 8 hours straight.
Really?
I feel I'm gonna be playing
Me too, man.
100 hours of the open world before I even do a Grand Prix, man. Like I already know it's gonna happen.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
I definitely
bored.
know.
I just know it.
Grand Prix. I'm gonna go through the cups like I always do at every CC, and that's my main
Mhm.
starting point. But I'm
gonna
just like
start with the open world, man. Absolutely, and I'll
I
never.
probably
leave
will
it.
start with the open world too, to be
there's
honest.
not a
with you.
game on here, a second game. There just literally is nothing for me. I mean, other than replaying Zelda's.
Boy, if Donkey Kong was there, really make it in time for Donkey Kong.
But even
Like,
that Donkey
we're
Kong is
talking-
only
we're
like
talking
a
a
month
couple
It's a
later.
weeks.
month, yeah. But I'm just saying, like,
I'm saying, why couldn't that be launch day? Like, what
You're
is
telling me like
what is
Mario
it
Kart
getting?
is-
What I need an adventure game, man.
No, I do-
Mario
I
Kart is
do-
not an
Yeah,
adventure
Mario
game.
Kart-
Kart
like,
open
it-
world, man.
and
Yeah,
the-
I mean, personally,
Well-
I view like this Mario Kart.
You got your open
as
world
a-
right here.
Yeah.
I do view Mario Kart World, this open world, as more of an
It's
more of a racing and an adventure. You
And
know,
It's
every-
still a
But I
racing
mean,
game.
Mario Kart isn't
I
gonna.
know, but it's an
satiate you for,
adventure
like,
on wheels.
A month, like for a month to play Mario
What's
Kart.
the
on
adventure? Tell me
computer.
what the adventure. What am I can drive around bigger areas and see stuff. That's
Brother,
it.
come
You're
on,
not
I know
interacting
you
in
don't
any
agree with the whole
adventure
mission
way.
stuff, but the missions.
What are you
and
collecting?
awesome.
Missions of
They already
jump across
revealed
this
at least
lake.
3 things to do. in the
There's a
open world.
mission. That's not a mission to me.
Man.
so
You know,
Willie, while going across the bridge. That's the mission. It's the racing
God
game.
damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
so
yo.
what's everybody's
No,
second
okay.
game?
you tell me what a mission is. That is a straight
I'm
up
not gonna
mission.
say there's nothing
that I'm
gonna
gonna
convince
enjoy
you,
it.
I'm not here to convince you about it. I'm
No,
just
no,
gonna
no,
give you
no.
the idea that-
No, maybe because I just hadn't heard what you heard. I'm
I'm
just
not
asking
even-
you. Give me a
He's
mission that you think is gonna be meaty. I'm not.
Bro,
hey,
using
that's the
mission
thing
as
is
a
that
wrong
you have,
word.
you have to view it as something.
this idea that I'm just completely cut off and I won't take anything you say, that's bullshit. I'm the least like that person.
No,
that
but
I'm totally open
you
to being
clearly have
having my
made a
mind
stance on
changed.
these missions. There's very clearly a stance.
Well,
on
Rob-
I'm just
Robert-
telling you based on what I mean. I'm asking you, have you seen something different than what I've seen? I'm not making any kind of stance at all. If
No,
you've seen a mission that was like, oh, that looks kind of meaty.
What they show, it doesn't have to be meaty to me. It doesn't have to be, oh my god, so meaty. Because at the end of the day, there's so like.
Well, it's got to be meaty for it to be an adventure game, is what I'm saying.
For me,
It meaty for Mario Kart. It's fine for what it is. I'm just saying I need that adventure game kick that I love to get when I get a new game. That's why for Wii U, right? They didn't really have that. I mean, they had Super Mario, New Super Mario Brothers U, but I was like, I'm kind of I'm coming over the New Super Mario thing. What saved me was Darksiders 2. I was like, all right, I never played Darksiders 2. It hadn't been out that long of a console, so I was like, that was my big adventure game that I got really into on Wii U. And I enjoyed early on, so I just need something like that. Is what I'm saying.
I think the difference I think is it's just a perspective thing. See, because I'm like Robert, I'm like there's this to do. You can collect like all these different things, and we see that as like missions and stuff. But T wants Princess Peach to be like, man, these Goombas are like dealing crack on the corner. You gotta race their boss to go to the.
That would be cool.
That's making all these assumptions, but you ain't giving me a mission.
But that actually sounds pretty. That would be fun, minus the drug stuff. But
no, my thing is that would just be more racing, personally to me. Like I don't see that as a mission.
Okay, let me put it this way: is it gonna be more adventure than Diddy Kong Racing? Because Diddy Kong Racing has some adventure elements to it. Is it going to have more adventure-related stuff than Diddy Kong Racing?
I don't know. I haven't played it.
I will tell you right now.
Oh.
Everything you're going to do, everything they're going to have you do in these P-Switch things is going to be to either teach you how to do certain mechanics that you can adapt or use in the racing, or just be racing-related stuff. Like and which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I just, like I said before,
here's the thing.
You got to assume they're going to take things to maybe different levels than what they showed. And I think they have the talent to do it, and maybe they just didn't want to show it. But I would have liked at least something to be like, damn, that looks really cool. Like, if there is that thing, or if there's a bunch of those that are like, oh my God, that's like ridiculous. How did they come up with that? It's so clever. Then show us one of those, at least if you have one. That's what I said about the directs. But I'm not saying they all have to be, oh my God, the most amazing gravity-defying mechanic that's like just like so unique. But either way, let's just get down to what's your number 2 besides Mario Kart World. What's a game you're actually looking at buying and playing on Switch 2?
Nothing else.
Well, I'll have to say because I'm not getting the itch. Jay Biggs has brought up a game that I'll finally get into and actually start playing that bitch, is Cyberpunk. Maybe I'll just like really start playing Cyberpunk for the first time. Maybe that'll be my adventure game.
You didn't play Cyberpunk?
I played it barely on my Xbox, but
I mean, hey, that is a great.
I want to be able to play the bitch portably, because I want to be. That's one thing I can't do even when using my Legion Go, and I'm not playing that bitch on Steam Deck. That is trash on that.
That is a big single player. That's a beefy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Darksiders 2 wasn't a Nintendo game. It just was a big adventure game that I could play at the beginning of the Wii U life cycle. So maybe Cyberpunk will be that. Maybe I'll finally get into it because it's checking all the boxes. Like, the reason I haven't into it is that I don't have a lot of time currently to play my home console and just have that bit be stuck here.
Maybe with the gyro.
Get into it now.
Hogwarts. You didn't really play Hogwarts? I don't know if you're into. I don't remember if you're into Harry
Potter.
No,
I play Hogwarts a lot on. I haven't played it recently, but I played a lot on Steam Deck.
Yakuza? That's a franchise.
I have all the Yakuzas on Steam Deck. That's Steam Deck, okay. For me.
I was talking like the salesman mode.
Well, here's the thing, like the only game.
Have you ever played Deltarune? I love that game.
The only game.
Play what?
Deltarune. It is a really great game.
So there's 2 games that I would consider buying. One is Fast Fusion, but it's another racing game on top of Mario, so that's not going to be the best companion. The other would have been, I would have double dipped on Street Fighter 6 just to get the extra characters and have play online with whoever else gets it, but it's not on the cards or it's not on the game card.
If you
Yeah.
make just one adventures game, T and Juice, you guys just got to split the cost, buy Split Fiction, play that together. There you got your adventure game.
I ain't buying no code in the box game.
I ain't buying that bitch. Like that
Holy
game
shit.
lost me as soon as I saw code in the box. No
Is
way.
there even a
Just buy
physical
it
copy
digitally.
though?
What is it, man?
Yeah, it's, I have a physical copy of it.
Let me double check that. You say it's physical. Let me double check it's actually
Oh, I
physical.
get you. Like,
No, but
is
even
it,
if
is
it's
it,
not physical, buy it
Are you,
digital.
yeah, are you
you
sure
know?
it's physical? Or are you sure?
I don't really care. There's a disc
Only
in
one
it,
person needs
there's
to
a
buy it.
case.
I was watching Ruler 2's video, and he was talking about the physical games he got on Xbox, and he mentioned Indiana Jones. Like, nah, bro,
That
that ain't physical, bro.
No. And the thing
That
is,
one of your physical games.
once the game's got above 100 gigs, if it doesn't have 2 discs, you know right then and there that you don't have the whole game.
Oh yeah,
Like I
Right.
double checked Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with the 2 discs. Is the entire game is on the disc. You don't need an internet connection. You can just put the disc in, install, and play. Which I was surprised, to be
But
honest.
And to be fair, T, if you get Cyberpunk, it does come with Phantom Liberty. So
It comes with everything, yeah. So that might be my adventure game. I might be cool with that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna play it that way, honestly. I don't mind. Again, I don't mind giving CD Projekt Red my money because they don't mind catering to me as my my style of gaming and my
well, they just
you know
what
my
they said about physical. That
collector.
they understand that Nintendo.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
That's why I love them.
Physical, and they understand like it is pretty crazy to hear like a higher up.
They're the ones who bought the big cart for Witcher 3 on Switch. They went ahead and put everything on the cart, including the DLC. Bitch, all the DLC is on the cart and the game on Switch. And that was enough. I already had the game. I rinsed the game already, but I didn't care because I was like, I have to support that. I physically have to support that. So I'll probably buy 2 copies of that. Put one of them and keep it sealed. I might do that. So
Well, the site that
I'm a little reckless.
I do think that would be a good companion piece if that's what you're thinking. Like I do think that's like it's such a great game.
I just thought of it because of Jay Biggs' comment. I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should just play because I barely played Cyberpunk on Xbox. I probably got.
And I do. I personally love that game. I think it's great. But...
Yeah, I know it's a great game at this point. Finally,
yeah.
But I haven't played it. I haven't had time to play it, and now I can take my Switch 2 everywhere, so I'll be able to play that a bit more. Mm-hmm. So that's probably the way I'm gonna play it.
So I was checking the site that tells you if a game what's on the disc and what's not. They don't even have Split Fiction in the search, so I don't know if they didn't get to it or.
Oh, never mind.
That's weird. You would think that would be like A1. They would know. I mean.
But either way,
so what's the second game for everybody else? I mean,
sure,
so
Cyberpunk is definitely my second game. I wasn't gonna open it until I just thought about that. Maybe.
I mean, Hogwarts is a great game, but again, I already played that. I already played Street Fighter. I played Cyberpunk.
The car.
The thing is with Split Fiction, though, is technically
Hogwarts,
you can buy it on any platform, and then someone else plays on Switch 2, or if you really wanted to.
Is that how? Do you probably have to install the game on the second device?
You have to install the game, of course. Yeah, you have to install something, but it's I mean, you literally don't pay for it. I mean, that's what's crazy about it.
But yeah, other than that, I get, like I said, for some people, there's some games they probably haven't had a chance to play a good version of on Nintendo or at all. But for me, it's just like, damn, like really looking at it, it's just definitely not for me. The lineup, I mean, and then even games I'm slightly interested in, then they're on their game keycard games, so it's like, there goes that. So. Just kind of sucks.
Would you buy it? Oh, you say you don't want. I was saying, would you buy it digitally? But
I mean, certain game maybe. Like obviously, Silk Song and some other indie games. Like if I was interested in Bravely Default, like it's 10 gigs or whatever it is, that would be something I'd go digital with.
I think. Well, hey, I mean, something like Deltarune is like 600 megabytes if you guys.
Really?
Yeah,
and
it's literally sort of game. But
it's a Super Nintendo game. Juice is not playing that shit.
The reports are coming out, and with all the leaks of the Switch hardware, you can't just say they're absolute nonsense. But seems to be a lot of traction. It could just be people regurgitating the same theory, but that Nintendo only has the 64 gigabyte Switch 2 cart available. It's either that or a game key card because of the fast memory.
Wouldn't that be insane if that's true? I just don't believe it's true. I can't believe that's true.
It kind of adds up.
You kind of hope it is, because otherwise it makes even less sense for some of these games. Like, if it's
I hope it is, but it just doesn't make sense. Why would they do? Games don't go anywhere near that.
It could be whatever.
Why do they do that?
Whatever this faster storage is, maybe they don't offer it in a module below 64 gigs. I don't know. Somebody's gonna have to open a cart.
Then as a company, Nintendo needs to make. I mean, it's basically proprietary point.
And it might be might be a situation where the 32 gig would be like $1 cheaper or something. They're like, no, fuck it. I mean, we don't know all the details, but the other part of the speculation is that it's $15 to $17 per game card, so that's a pretty big hit. And
but Switch had what? What did Switch have? 2, 4, 8, or something
16.
Like that?
16 was the most common. There was 8 for sure, but
yeah.
And somebody's like, well, they could use the Switch carts. Well, then you're not getting the faster loading time. It depends on the game, I guess.
Any indie company who wants to make a physical game, and a lot of them do. Most of them do.
They would just have to make a Switch 1 game, and it's just going to be playable on Switch 2, basically.
That's bananas.
That's true. Yeah, you'd have to.
But I'd rather have that, to be honest, than a game key card. Like, if like.
Yeah, but even then,
but why is that why is that my only options? Is what I'm saying. Like,
no, but even then, that'd
crazy.
That'd be some crazy development thing. Because again, you're not just good. You can't just make, like, let's say you're making a unless it's like a Delta room where it's not going to look any different. Like, let's say you really have to scale back in your Switch 1 version, and then you have to make essentially a separate port for Switch 2.
Well, I'm thinking of like more indie focused games that there ain't going to be a huge difference in the visual side, and it just be loading time.
You'd be surprised with a lot of indie games.
I'm sorry, but
that's true.
Make it work. Fucking Legion Go and my Steam Deck, I can run games off the fucking card or SD card, modern games without a itch. Why? What's so different about this situation? Why is this different? Like, I don't understand.
And I don't agree with Aries 73's comment here. It is part. If Nintendo only offers a 64 gig card that's $16, $17, or a game key card, I'm not gonna blame third parties for choosing that, because that's a huge chunk of the price of the game. Like Street Fighter 6, they charge $75. But if you look at the DLC of those characters, it's still cheaper than buying the game without and then buying the characters separately. That's still going to be cheaper. But Hogwarts Legacy,
a big chunk of money.
Do we know a price of Hogwarts Legacy on Switch 2? Is it going to be 60 or 70? Should be, in my opinion, it should be 60, but
it should be 60, but I'm guessing that big going to be 70,
because they already got the Nintendo community with the Switch 1 version, and now you're
right, and you
no upgrade path, so you gotta rebuy. And so I would honestly, if the publisher would eat the $5 and raise it 10, I'd buy Street Fighter 6 for 70, to be honest, if it was all in the cartridge. But I can't blame it. If it's 15, if it's 15 or more dollars, like,
I haven't bought it yet, so it'd be justifiable to get it.
I don't think you can just say, oh, third parties are being lazy. Like Cyberpunk said, yeah, it's expensive, but we know how important physical media is to Switch, so it's put in a bad situation.
This isn't a third party.
I'm stating it as 60 right now.
We'll have to see when a new game, day and date, or a brand new game comes out from third party, a multi-plat, and see what the pricing is and how.
Do we know anything like Call of Duty?
No, we know of nothing past. Do we know of any Switch?
We don't know Call of Duty, but we know Call of Duty is going to be one of them. Well,
yeah.
Is there anything before that? Is what I'm saying that we know.
Borderlands 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Borderlands 4. Yeah.
Hasn't been confirmed, but I can guarantee you game key card for that.
Is that a full price?
Oh, that'd be game key card for sure. Yeah. I don't expect that to.
Any game over 64 gigs. I I mean, but then it saves your internal memory though. If they put as much as possible on the cartridge, that would save you.
Well, that's what I'm curious too. Yeah, because I'm like, I guess you could do that separated, but like if it's over 64 gigs,
Now we're
does it
getting to
work?
the hidden cost talk. People are going crazy about, oh man, these hidden costs. But if you ain't offering fucking cartridges, and it's your fault, the company Nintendo, that these people aren't putting shit on the cart because you have an expensive ass cart. Now that's a hidden cost. Now I got to go out and buy a
Yeah,
memory
the Hell
card.
Shot.
I
Just,
probably wasn't planning on as early. That's a hidden cost.
and they're not cheap, and they're hard. They're not available right now.
Right.
So if the 1 terabyte price holds and they become available, you're looking at $200. And if you're going to go all digital, which this is not the system to go all digital on.
A lot of people did that. A lot of people did that on Switch, went all digital. I'm like, y'all some crazy.
But a 256
But
went a long way on Switch, and that was
right.
like $30 or whatever at the time, maybe 40. Now you're looking 60 for 256 and
400,
and then 500's like 130. And it's not gonna last. If like that's depends on what games you're gonna buy, but like let's say,
right.
I mean, I brought
5 to 7 games if you certain games.
If you buy the Mario Kart bundle, there's 23 gigs already gone, so you're probably looking at just over 200 gigs. You do Split Fiction, now you got
Is
about
Mario Kart
100...
23 gigs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
So now you're down to
Nintendo,
under 100 with
Nintendo put
two games.
You know that bitch big. If that bitch is 23 gigs from Nintendo, you know
it's
that
their largest game, I think. Someone said, not including the Switch 2.
It's not for some adventurous.
That don't mean that's an adventure because that bitch big. I already said that.
It just means higher quality assets and maybe higher quality. Maybe
Right.
the music's higher quality. That's what I'm looking
Audio.
forward to, is like a less compressed audio experience on a Nintendo system. But I've been asking for that forever. Pre-ordered a 512 SD card. I hope you got the Express card. What was that? About 140 for a 512.
I don't want to see that
again,
card.
I know, Juice, you don't feel this way, but again, like to me, it's like I just think it's very ordinary to again, you get a decent sized car or whatever, then as you get more games, you delete more games, you buy, delete. Once it gets to that point, like I just don't think there's impossible to have. I mean, unless you don't have the library like I do, like, you're not gonna have all your games on.
I mean, that's what I always
So
did.
we're at a point. We're at a point with
though.
Nintendo consoles that you're deleting. That's.
I delete on Wii U.
I
I deleted on Wii U.
Well, here's the other
That's
issue.
that's what we talked about like
Yeah.
last week, and I was thinking back then, like that's what I did with PlayStation 4. I picked like the 5 kind of games that I'm playing the most at the moment. Those will be on the PS4, and then once I'm done, I delete one and put another one on there.
Yeah.
You downloading retail like full console games on Wii U? Is that what you doing?
No, okay.
You have 32
I let's talk more Switch because yeah, that's right. I did have a big. I bought a 1 terabyte for Wii U. Which
I had a terabyte for Wii U, but here's the difference in my opinion.
But for Switch, I did. I know I still do. Every time, like a lot of times, I'll have to delete.
I know
games.
Juice bought a lot of digital games.
Yeah, I know Retro's not going to buy a game key card. I'm assuming. I don't know if there's any scenario where you would.
I will buy it digitally in that case, just.
So.
Yeah, but what if? But hold on. What if you get 2 Switch 2s between you and your wife, and your wife wants to play?
We'll just pick one. I'm not like
Why,
guys. Like...
No. See, I'm confused by that, Retro, because I'm like, well, you're gonna buy it just digitally if it's as a game key card. For me, it's like I'm gonna buy this game key card if I have the choice over digital because it makes more sense to me. I can take that bit and put it over here, put it over there. I bet you can do it anyway.
Yeah, the digital.
To me, that at least
card.
feels like something. I got you need that card.
You could buy it for cheaper, probably.
I think
Definitely.
the only moment when I would buy a second Switch 2 is if Animal Crossing comes out and they do the same shit again, where you need a separate Switch for your own island. It's the only scenario I'll probably buy a second Switch.
Maybe they'll give you the option.
Well, hopefully Nintendo didn't hear that because they're gonna make you buy a second Switch now if they heard that.
They added a second save file to the Zelda games, so maybe they will for Animal
Buying multiple Switches the way I did this generation.
Well, here's the biggest difference. For one, the Switch doesn't come with the same storage as the other systems. Two, if you have a physical, you don't have to install anything. Like it plays off the cartridge just fine. So that you would hope. more games would do that because there's no reason to install. So with a disc, it's like, well, you got to install it anyway. If you got to install the game anyway, then what's the difference between, having 50 gigs on the disc and or 80 gigs on the disc? Whatever you install it all anyway. It just depends on if you thinking about the future. You want to know that the whole game's on the actual disc or cartridge. But either way, it's like if you're playing like retro, you're I don't know how long it'll take you to get a library enough where you'll be deleting games on Switch 1. But if like let's say just a casual picks up the Switch 2 and he picks up Madden, gets Call of Duty, like that right there might be the entire internal storage, Call of Duty and Madden, and you got a game key card, and you're like, if you have to delete one of those games for another game, you're like, I want to go back to this. Now you're installing 100+ gigabytes. That's going to take a while.
I mean, I've had that on the original Switch.
I mean, I already have that now with Call of Duty, so it don't bother me.
I have it on the original Switch because, again, I have Smash. My Smash is digital. I have Battle for Atlas is digital. I have a few actually big chunky games digital.
I do. Yeah, I have Starlink digital also.
Yeah, everybody got Starlink digital. You got no cheap.
Also, Madden NFL 26 did get a gig, which is a 62 gigs. That's what it's going to be, which is smaller than I thought, to be honest with you. For
really, it's only 62.
Yeah,
well, that's good.
Surprising, to be honest with you. I wonder what it is.
They can fit in the car. I wonder if they're gonna do that.
No, it's already said. I think it already showed.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, I think it is.
I don't know if it's. I don't even know if it's a game key card. I don't even know if it's gonna be a game. It might be a code in the box.
No, I think it's a game key card. That one. I remember seeing that. But let me see. I'm curious what it is on PS5 then. What is that?
I would have expected more, but I guess it is just. Football.
I would have expected more, to be honest with you too.
Who care about Nintendo?
I mean, but maybe it's just Madden is not as big as maybe some of the other games. Like from EA and stuff.
To me, you could argue what's the difference between 2 games and 10 games filling up a system, but at the same time, if you're going to go digital, I mean, that is an extra cost. That's a significant extra cost if you're buying.
Yeah, I'll say right now, I'm not gonna buy a SD card. I'm gonna go this whole generation. I'll buy an SD card, and it just won't matter to me because I'll just delete and buy.
Oh yeah, well you play a game, you start a game, you play it to completion, and you move on. Like that's not the majority of people.
But that's not all games. I still have my main multiplayer games. I'll still have I have my Call of Duty. I actually have multiple Call of Duties on Xbox, along with other games that are smaller and stuff like that.
And you're probably gonna buy a lot of Nintendo's games, so those will probably all be on the cartridge.
Yeah. I mean, that's why. Unless you're buying Nintendo games digitally, I don't imagine, which I guess a lot of people will, to be fair, but I don't imagine you'll have such a big stress about it. Like if you're buying, because I can't imagine Nintendo doing game key cards. If they do, then damn, what the hell? How do they do that? But I'd imagine
they would never even think about doing a game key card.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be so surprised. I'd be so surprised. So I'm
telling you now, next gen, or if they don't do it this gen, they'll do it next gen because people are going to be buying.
I don't even think they'll have a game.
I better never see them do a goddamn game key card. I better never see that shit.
I don't know, man. I mean,
at some point there won't be any game key cards before.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. At some point, there won't be any physical ones in general.
Yeah, because
for Super Famicom with some bull like that. I'm talking about I'm talking about the core Nintendo games.
The minis.
Oh, by the way, I think Madden is just a small gig franchise because Madden 25 was 51 gigs on PS5, so I think it's just not as big.
Honestly,
I think we think about Madden, how much save space that bitch took up.
Oh,
I think that's thinking about Madden.
That just reminded me. Okay. Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation 5 takes up 2 gigs for your save file, and it's like kilobytes.
That's for your saves.
On Xbox, it's like megabits. It's tiny.
I wonder what's the difference.
I don't know. A panic button had to work around. Some workaround they had to do to get it running on PS5. I don't know. No one said, but like that's a hidden hidden storage cost, right? The game's 132, and then the freaking it's 10 gig or 2 gigabytes just for your save files. Like, damn,
that's
crazy. But
that's probably scale.
Scale
because
down?
back in the day, no, I'm saying it's probably to scale basically from what we used to have
Yeah.
On a Madden game when it took up entire memory card, 59 blocks,
On
and
the
then
GameCube, yeah, it took up a
to
whole memory
what we
card.
have now.
Same
Yeah.
with
I'd say with the, I do have a SD card for Switch One, and I don't remember what the size.
I think I have a 128, I believe. I think that's what I went with. And I didn't.
I don't know.
I had to
I
delete
have
stuff.
currently right now.
Yeah, I had to delete
Yeah.
stuff. Like I said, I do delete stuff when I have to download
But man, it
something.
sucks
I
when you
don't-
want to
I
replay
delete
it.
stuff like I delete stuff when I absolutely have to do it. Currently, right now, and I'm running through all them bitches. You probably don't believe it, but I have 223 fucking games on my Steam Deck right now.
Wait,
So
like on
yeah.
it, like already out, like
yeah,
literally.
on it
Like,
right now.
how big is
Yeah,
your?
downloaded
Which one do
I
you?
have
Which?
a terabyte.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of those are like indie games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah, because you got to consider too. Like, I mean, Switch One games. Some games got some decent sized patches or updated content.
Yeah.
You could be looking at a gig here or there for games. If there's DLC for Mario Kart, that could be 5-10 gigs that you're gonna always have to have that on. You're not gonna delete your DLC for a Mario Kart, but you might for like an adventure game once you finish it. But it's just one of those things where without the game key card, the storage wouldn't really be an issue. It just
For sure.
the price of games might have been the issue. Also, like somebody brought up Monster Hunter. Just so surprising. No announcement of Monster Hunter Wilds. Like,
I do think that's very surprising. Yeah.
That's a surprise. That is a surprise.
Yeah, that is
What
pretty.
we know that is coming. Like,
What is the? I mean, Capcom only has Street Fighter, right? There's nothing else that I could think of. I don't think they have anything else.
Is Monster Hunter thing a surprise though from the people who on Switch One gave us the freaking 3DS game? Like,
Yeah, but you would think they would know by now. I mean, it's a bit different, These dudes been waiting for something else.
That bit sold. People bought that bit too, didn't they?
oh yeah,
And defended the shit out of it too. I'm
Because
like, I
they-
ain't buying that shit.
they came with a real game later, but yeah, I remember that initially. I was like, what?
Well, we didn't know at the time.
Mhm.
We didn't know that they were coming with a real game later. We thought, oh, this is what you're doing.
Yeah, they were a little late to the party. Even though they had a hand in
Yeah.
supposedly bumping the RAM up to 4 gigabytes, they never really.
If that is true, kudos to them for that. You got to give them.
I guess
because goddamn,
people have been there's been teardowns of the Switch 2.
imagine how Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity would have ran without that extra 2 gigs.
And also, to be fair, yeah, literally, talk about sales numbers, but their game, Monster Hunter Rise, is the 24th best-selling Switch game at 8 million. So you would think they'd want to get Wilds out on that.
8 million. Yeah, you think?
Apparently, Wilds has some
I don't know.
performance issues on the 9th gen system, so I don't know if it's just going to require a little more work. But
yeah,
what was I just going to talk
I bought
about?
that game 3 times, bro. What's wrong with me?
We're talking about Capcom. Damn it! There's something that came up in my head while you were talking.
I'm
That
surprised ain't no Resident Evil announcements, nothing. Like what?
it is weird.
oh,
Which, I mean,
yeah.
what? Oh, what were you gonna say?
there's been I didn't watch any of the videos, but there's been somebody tore down. Like they got the processor and they confirmed the RAM is 12 gigs on Switch 2. I know that was what people said.
Oh yeah, that was
but it's
like
been
someone had a
100%.
video.
It's been confirmed, which is more than the Series S, and the Steam Deck I believe has only 8, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Could be 16. So
What, the Steam Deck has what?
how many gigs of RAM?
A RAM? 16.
Does it have 16? All right. I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, it was somebody bumped it up to 32. That's right. They doubled it. They had to like solder. They tore the whole OLED down, and they soldered on, and they had to like program it to work.
How
And
much
then
of that RAM is going to be towards the voice chat with the?
That's the thing,
the-
man. Like that's got to be
Yeah.
supported on every game. Is that going to be a situation where when you turn it on, it's going to impact the visuals? You got to minimize the screen, or is it one of those where the game has to work, and you can only have it be as so visually impressive as if it'll work with the game chat enabled? Because like I'm just thinking of Elden Ring. That company is notorious for games with performance issues, kind of like Platinum Games. They always push the limit and they have performance issues. I just can't imagine that game with game chat going on at the same time, being a consistent frame rate.
Yes.
So
it's gonna be a slideshow.
Is it going to be one of those where you turn on game chat, it could affect the performance of games, or do they have to make sure they can't make the game beyond what it would run with the game? So like if you turn the game chat off, is it going to run better, or is that stipulation they have with these companies that you cannot have the game beyond what it can do with the voice chat? What games are you guys buying at launch? Mario Kart World Bundle. That's it. I don't plan on any.
Did you get the email at all?
No.
Nothing.
I got the email about the privacy or user agreement change.
I
saw Nintendo.
All right, let's go round robin. So you said Mario Kart World.
That's if I get the bundle. Otherwise, I'm not gonna buy a Switch 2 game.
Right.
If I don't get the.
Wow. What you just play Zelda?
What about you, Rob? I know you're getting a few.
What games?
Yeah.
No, literally just Mario Kart and probably Fast Fusion. That's it.
Okay.
Well, that's not true. I might get Cyberpunk also.
I might buy Cyberpunk, but I don't think I'm gonna open it.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be playing it on there, but I do want to support it. I already beat the game, so
we'll have to see it because I wouldn't, if the DLC, if I can transfer my save and start the DLC, maybe.
That too, yeah. If I could transfer my save and try out Phantom Liberty that way, because
that should be a thing. I'm thinking that will happen. That will.
But at the same time, it's like, it portably would be the benefit. I'm not, if I have the game, I have PS5, the PS5 version via the free upgrade. And the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, if it's not a benefit for you, portable.
I just don't see me playing the Switch 2 version over the PS5 version on my TV. But then again, I'd have to buy the DLC. So I do want to support them though. I do like everything they said, and I'm a sucker
I agree.
for that.
Can I cross? Because if I can cross it, that's even more beautiful. That's cross save. I mean,
I don't know.
CD Projekt Red, they always do cross saves. They always do it. So
I don't know if they'll do it between.
That's even better.
I don't know if they do it between.
When I get home, I can play it on my Xbox and shit.
Would they do it between PS5 and Switch though, or versus PS5 and PC, Switch and PC? I don't know.
Yeah, PS5 is the outlier. Like I know Xbox does.
I don't think I created a CD Projekt Red account. I know
Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, you don't have an account?
I don't think I did. I know I did for Bethesda, for was that Bethesda for Doom? I don't know if I did. I know Ubisoft's the one for sure because that saved my ass on Immortals.
So apparently it is. It's fully cross progression compatible with versions from other platforms.
That's cool.
What they said on other platforms.
That doesn't surprise me at all. They always do. So that's even better. That's even more of an incentive. So I don't have to buy that bitch for my PC, my portable PCs or anything like that. And then I don't have to play docked on Switch to get home. I can play it, with the all the giggly wiggly wops on my Xbox. So that's cool. I like that. That's definitely a buy.
Yeah, it's not a launch title. Never mind. The only other game in the future for this year that I
Game Ex Machina.
That's not what I was going to say.
That's like September.
That's not a launch title either. Huh?
Isn't it?
That's like September.
Oh, is it? I thought that. Yeah, that's right. For me, it's just Metroid Prime 4, obviously. And then Age of Imprisonment. I'm hoping we got to see more from that, but I'm hoping, and that could be early next year. They said winter.
They said winter 2025.
You have to see more.
Oh, 2025. Okay.
Yeah, that was winter. So it is supposedly. I would
Age of Imprisonment is 25. Is a 25 game. Yeah.
Well, we got to get that direct for the big holiday games because apparently Pokemon's not big and
not big.
Some people just like with the 3D World. The real Mario game could be next year. Like people are saying that there's gonna be some.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Big game.
I understand what they're trying to say. As a core Nintendo fan, like who doesn't care about Pokemon, that's not. What am I gonna do for the holiday? So I understand where they're coming from. I totally agree. Like Pokemon might be a big game for Nintendo, but it ain't for me. I don't care. So where's my Nintendo game? What about traditional Mario or something like that? for the first holiday. I mean, we're gonna have the whole GameCube situation again here. Well, I ain't getting no big Mario game at launch or near launch for my new console. That
Hopefully
turned out too
Donkey
well.
Kong fills that role.
Kong, man.
Just wait
You
to
got
buy
Donkey-
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, but Donkey Kong ain't on that tier. I mean,
It might be
You
after
know.
this. We
you,
don't know.
you have a lot of hope.
Donkey
You have a lot of
Kong
hope
not
inside
being
of you.
on the
God
same
bless
tier,
you.
that's
I love
crazy.
it.
I thought you were like more excited than I was for Donkey Kong, I believe.
No,
Like,
I'm excited for Donkey Kong, but what I'm saying is me being excited for Donkey Kong don't mean that bit's gonna sell well. Like
Or it's
that's
gonna
what
be
I'm saying.
to like
Oh,
a
I
new
get you.
3D
Okay,
Mario
okay.
level.
Donkey Kong
Yeah.
not being on the same tier is
Right.
a wild statement, man. I would even say 2D wise,
What?
DK explodes Mario. Absolutely.
yeah, but he's talking about sales wise. He's talking about like
I think
Is it
Yes.
not similar?
I don't know.
Sales, man. I'm talking
No.
sales and impact. Donkey
It-
Kong is probably Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is probably the best 2D platform ever created, but it sold like nothing. It sold almost nothing for
I mean,
what a
it's
game
still
like that should have
billions,
done.
but just not compared to.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm just saying it didn't sell Nintendo levels like it should do, like a Mario game does. So that's what I'm saying.
We
I
got
mean, I'm telling you now, you ain't getting Mario this year.
No. There's
we
no
got
way.
we got somebody. Danny
I,
Williams said
I,
he.
I don't, you say that, but
Oh, I
I
say
remember
that.
If
we
you get a
didn't know
Mario,
anything
my
about
mind would be
know
blown.
anything about Odyssey, 2D or 3D World. We knew nothing about that bitch until summer hit, and then came out a few months later. So you don't
I
know
think
that.
about
I mean,
Wonder. We
you
didn't
might
know.
be
anything about.
we didn't know anything about Wonder also.
Yeah, they could have finished the
So
3D Mario
might
game
say
3 years
that.
ago.
Right.
I don't know if they would have held
Man,
it
that
that
would be
long.
amazing. That would be the greatest surprise of the year. If that was.
I
if that
think
was the
next
case.
year, but anyway,
I don't think it would be that. I don't think it would be that big a surprise, but
I
it'd
would be
cool.
super surprised. What? I'm not expecting that in the slightest.
Why? The
Why
first
would-
year of a Nintendo console, a popular one, you don't think they would be
But the first
ready with?
year
They
could
just
be
had
like.
to add that GameCube
It's
jab.
not, by the
on top
way,
of
we
that.
haven't had a new fucking 3D Mario in 8 goddamn years. It ain't like it's been around, So, but I know Wonder's out there, so that is the Mario team who made Wonder. So I get it.
Do you think they're actually gonna
But-
try to launch it alongside the new Mario movie in April of next year?
I can
That's
see that
possible.
happen. I can see
You
that
know?
happen.
Yeah.
I want to
be
give
smart.
I want to give a shout out to guy Danny Williams in the chat. His pre-order got canceled because his bank sent him some check thing at 2 a.m. and he didn't acknowledge it, so they canceled. That sucks. That really sucks,
Oh,
man.
Brutal.
Oh, come on.
I would be going to my bank, and be like, "You're
Yeah,
buying
thank-
for me now."
You mother.
Best Buy says
You
that they'll
motherfuckers
have
better
stock
do something
beyond the
about this.
pre-orders.
Who said it?
Best Buy.
I don't think you'll have a problem, especially if you go in person.
Yeah, but you got to go in person.
Mhm.
So Juice, you got to be
yeah.
there lined up.
I'm gonna have. I'm not. I can't do the Best Buy. They open too late, and I'll tell you guys off air why I can't be standing in line all morning. I'd have to have somebody
Most places will have
hold my
40
spot
to
for
50
me.
units. I think you'll be okay.
So I think if I
you'll
go
be okay.
to Myers, they're like a Walmart for people that don't live in the Midwest. I think they'll probably open around 8 a.m. And so I'm gonna go there at like 4, 5, see what kind of line there is.
Oh boy.
We'll see.
I hope
If
it's
I
gonna be
wake
good.
up, I might not even. Who knows? I might not even feel like it when I get that morning. I might fuck it. I'm gonna sleep in.
Man, and you don't feel the
Yeah,
excitement. of
there's
new
no
Nintendo
excitement
console.
in this guy's bones at all for the Switch.
You don't
2 right
feel
now.
it
There's
when
none.
that day comes, and it was like, oh baby.
We'll see.
You're gonna go up. You're gonna open the chat, and you're gonna see. I'm already playing it. You're gonna see. You can see other than like it's gonna be. Great.
I don't think you'll have yours. Oh yeah, midnight.
Yeah, I mean,
You're getting
if you're
the
saying
midnight.
4 a.m., I'm doing
Yeah.
mine. At
Well,
midnight.
they were. I probably. Yeah. Yep. I get what you're saying. What else was there?
Maybe I'll just go to the launch just to go. Maybe I'll pick up Cyberpunk there or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. You could do some of
Just
that.
to record it and shit, see what I can see.
Yeah.
Oh, something.
GTA 6
That would-
trailer came
that'd
out.
be fun.
Something I thought. I don't.
Huh?
Something
I was
that's
saying
not
GTA
like.
6
Oh,
trailer came out 'cause you're thinking about something.
we didn't talk about GT6, but I want to talk about people. It's funny. You see different people, but I saw a couple weeks ago somebody comparing pre-rendered cutscenes from PS3 to real-time cutscenes on PS4 and 5, like showing that, oh, there's no difference between PS3 and PS5. They're like, look at it, they look almost the same. I'm like, yeah. Pre-rendered cutscene, the in-game looked nothing like those. Was a big drop off, like Uncharted 2, 3. Games look great, but the pre-rendered cutscenes look freaking basically PS4 level visuals. And then I see different people getting all excited over. I don't think it was Cyberpunk. Which game was it? Wasn't Elden Ring? No, we only seen a little bit of. But
Switch 2?
One of these games, Switch 2, all the cutscenes. It was just 4 cutscenes next to 4 cutscenes from the PS5 version. I'm like, I've seen it multiple times now. I'm like, do you know if that's pre-rendered or real-time cinematics? No one ever answers. I'm just like,
was it Final Fantasy 7?
It was Final Fantasy 7.
Because I've seen. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah.
Those are all cut.
Look at the pores.
That's a cinematic. If it's real time, it's impressive. But if that's a pre-rendered cinematic, then that means nothing. Like, it literally means nothing.
But they have said that it looks better than the PS4 version of it. But
yeah, I mean,
hashtag
I doubt it
GTA
was
6
better.
thing, Robert.
It ain't coming. But also, to be fair,
No,
I
not
don't
the
believe it.
Switch
I
2.
believe
I'm
it.
talking about the trailer being like CGI.
that is game. I'm
that's
telling
all
you, that
in
shit
engine, real
that's-
time. I would say
That's happening, bro.
I wouldn't
But
say.
also,
Rockstar don't bullshot. They don't use.
And
they
even
don't-
Digital
they don't
Foundry
bullshit
pointed out
on it.
all the obvious flaws. It
Yeah.
looks okay. I'm like,
They start stuttering.
they were showing all the this is real time
I
because
saw
this
them
and
stuttering,
this. They
so
show all the
I thought
flaws,
it-
but either way,
Yeah.
I find
I'll say that they did confirm that the Final Fantasy VII remake trilogy will come to Switch.
Yeah,
So that
they
means
said. Well,
now
they
Rebirth
said
and
they
then-
want to
and
bring
then
the
third-
series.
I didn't know. People are all surprised by that. Oh my god!
Which makes sense.
I thought that was confirmed basically when they said when
when they announced
fucking
it.
Square Enix said they're gonna be bringing their games to more consoles. So
Yeah.
it was like some weird big new revelation. I was just like, okay, I
So-
expected the other ones to come too.
Even
Man
if
needs
it's
that
like
money, man.
like even if those were like if that's real time and that's the power of DLSS, with a game like Final Fantasy VII, yeah, that's impressive as hell. I mean, but at the same time, I don't this if you added a DLSS chip to a PS4, it's gonna be like probably more than PS5 level visuals, so that if that's true, that's really impressive for Final Fantasy VII. And the thing is, I can't tell. It almost looked like it was running at 60 FPS. I don't know if that was the video.
I don't know.
Somebody took it, and I don't think you can, even if you make a edit and render a video at 60, if it's 30 FPS, it's not going to look 60. So I was like, yeah, it looks great, but if that's pre-rendered, it doesn't mean anything. If it's real time, then yeah, that's a good sign that the game's going to look pretty damn good on Switch 2. So
I think the Final Fantasy games will look really good on Switch 2.
well, I think on base PS5, Rebirth has some pretty low res on the performance mode, but the 30 FPS looks decent. So we'll have to see. I mean, PS5 doesn't have DLSS, so that really could be the game changer for the Switch too. Just have to wait till the games actually come out.
Was gonna be it.
You see
Yeah, that was
direct
gonna be
feed,
the
and
game.
don't watch it on your phone because it's really hard to tell that stuff. Watch it on whatever TV you're gonna be playing on, and you get a better idea of what it would actually look like on the Switch 2. So it's promising, but at the same time, it's funny that people are using cinematics for two different purposes. One, to say that there's not a big visual difference between PS3 and PS5, and the one say that Switch looks as good as PS5. So
Yeah, I mean, to say now the difference between PS3 and PS5 is insane.
it's ridiculous. I mean, now that I've been on PS5 a while, I see the difference, especially on the PS5 only games. Like, yeah, the cross-gen, but even the cross-gen games, like two of the best-looking games this generation are Forza Horizon 5 and Horizon Zero or Forbidden West. They're both cross-gen games, and they're two of the best-looking games still. So that doesn't really mean anything. Depends on the developer, but it is what it is. And I think it's promising. It looks promising, but I'm not also getting super excited over some cinematics. Let's see some gameplay. Let's see how the performance is. Let's see how the games actually look when they're out, and then go from there. So, but I'm optimistic. Just want to. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, and then and especially the Cyberpunk says not representative of final product, like the whole time at the bottom, and I see people getting all crazy about it. Well, does that mean not representative because it's not done and it could look better, or does that mean this is what it looks like in the development stage on PC? And we're hoping it looks like this on Switch. Don't know what that means. I don't think they would do that, but they did put the disclaimer out there. This is not representative of final product, so could just be to cover their ass. Or
even on the gameplay demos though, they also say like this is not the final.
Did it?
It's like this a game? Yeah, they would tell like every single one it would say. So like I mean I do think they're probably trying to get it a little bit more better running. I don't know. We'll have to see literally in a month, less than a month. Oh my god!
It's like 3 weeks. What are you talking about? A month?
Oh my god!
That's crazy. That's crazy. I keep looking at the calendar. I'm like, damn, a new Nintendo.
There is definitely a difference from probably every other Nintendo console. As far as my excitement level, there's definitely a difference. But I know the closer it gets, the more excited I'm about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is probably the least excitement I've had for a Nintendo console, and people get offended. Like, well, it's a prettier Switch. Like that's that's great, but until I see more games, more Switch 2 games, I can't get too excited yet.
My least favorite or my least excited launch was the Wii U and the Wii. Those are my two most. I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Least, I guess I was the least excited. I didn't get the Wii at launch. That's probably my least excited I've ever been for a Nintendo system. I got the Wii U at launch, but it wasn't an exciting launch. And Cray, to answer your question, the Cyberpunk build, it had been 7 weeks since they put that build together for the demo. By the time the Treehouse was live, the demo could have been a year old.
They didn't build it in.
I mean, it could have took them a year to get to that point, but when they cut off to make that demo, it had been 7 weeks old, so it was 7 weeks better by that time, and now it's a month and a half, no, that was already 2 months, so it's probably another month and a half on top of that newer. But just I don't know where the Switch 2 lands at this point. I mean, if I got a pre-order, I did try. Only for 45 minutes, but I did give it an effort.
All these franchises that when I bring up that I hear from other fans who just feel like you're trying to defend Nintendo or something. I don't know, but all these franchises that I'm told all the time, they just don't sell well. They won't sell well. You think if they launched with Switch 2, you think Star Fox wouldn't sell stupid numbers on Switch 2 if it launched with Switch 2? You think Wave Race,
F-Zero, or I guess
F-Zero wouldn't sell crazy numbers if it was a launch.
It's either got to be a launch title or like peak popularity of a system. Like launch titles just generally do well because when people buy the system, they want to buy a game or two. And now I wouldn't have Wave Race and Mario Kart World together. That would just kill Wave Race.
Yeah,
Wave Race would sell way less, but. And even F-Zero, it's another racing game.
Same with F-Zero though.
But
it could be that, for example, DK launches a month later on purpose because of that $80 price tag on Mario Kart, and Nintendo is like, if we put them together, people might choose instead of buy both. I mean it. I think that's a real thing.
And Hellshot, I mean, Mario Kart World is the game to play, but other than that, I mean, I'm more excited, honestly, not more excited, but I'm just the next thing I'm excited about is just playing Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom again. Like that's
in 4K.
It's hard to be that excited for that. Now, I'm excited for the future. I can't wait to see Monolith Soft's game, and
I'm excited for that.
Metroid Prime 4.
I will be playing Tears of the Kingdom also with the upgrade because I ain't finished that bitch yet. That is the thing. I can probably put another 50 maybe even 100 hours in the game if I wanted to. So I only have like 40 shrines, maybe.
Lenny Wright
I've
makes a
got
good
nothing for
point.
shrines.
People also correlate the fact that you can be not excited for system. Oh, you hate Nintendo games. You don't want to play Nintendo games. That's not even what that means. Like it just as a launch. Like I said, that reveal trailer of the Switch 2,
I was
man, that
excited
was a
enough to pre-order that
downer.
bit. I was excited enough to sit there for an hour and a half online, refresh. So I was excited enough.
Let's just
To
say I'm
get
not
the
going to be
system, so-
extra cautious and wrap myself in bubble wrap the week before to be afraid that I hurt myself and can't play. like a Switch in Breath of the Wild. Like
Yeah,
I literally
that was
slow down
it
at
was
every
different.
intersection, 4-way, even if I had a green light, I slowed down and looked both ways before I turned for like 2 weeks leading up to the Switch. Like I'm not gonna get
That shit was exciting.
taken
Like
out.
it was like,
Yeah, I agree.
Bethesda is putting fucking Wolfenstein and goddamn Skyrim on this shit right away. And then there was like Doom Doom on a fucking Nintendo console. Like that was exciting as shit.
And
Just
Mario
that
Odyssey
alone.
in October.
And then obviously yeah, because we knew about Mario Odyssey. We saw it. That was one of the first things we saw from Switch in that trailer. And so that was super exciting. And we don't really have that at this point. Yes, we got. But here's the thing. Yes, we got more third-party games. But Switch already started doing that. Right? Switch was already getting that. About halfway into its life cycle, it started getting more third-party stuff. So even that part isn't as exciting as it was when Switch came out, because Wii U didn't get shit for third parties for years. So that was also part of the excitement. It's like, oh, good, third parties that we like and care about are coming back. And also, look, the new 3D Mario game. Oh, Splatoon 2? What? That soon? Oh, ARMS, what is this? This shit looks cool. What is this new shit? Like, we got all that. And then we got Xenoblade Chronicles is coming the same year. That shit was mind-blowing. All right? The excitement level is naturally going to be different
playing
from that.
That fidelity on the go, like in your hand. That was...
on the go. Again, we can't have that same excitement for on the go because we've had 8 years of on the go. So that's just a natural thing. It's not like I'm not excited for.
I wasn't excited for.
I'm not as excited
for the OLED. I wasn't excited for the OLED, but it's a huge upgrade over the original Switch, and I play a ton portable mode, and it's definitely the
Oh, and I'm excited for GameCube. To tell you the truth.
Far superior version. Also, Lenny brought up a good point. 1-2 Switch proves people will buy whatever is available at launch. So
I just saw GameCube and I started getting worried. I saw the little tiny baby discs. I saw the purple lunchbox with the handle, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna be cool as a Nintendo fan because I like this quirky shit, but I'm worried that it ain't gonna catch on. And I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong to be worried about that stuff because it didn't catch on. Which made me very sad because GameCube was a fucking phenomenal system. That's why I remembered than the system that sold 8 times more than it did. People have way more nostalgia for GameCube than they do for fucking PlayStation 2 by leagues and bounds. Why is that? Because the games were more impactful.
I will say,
other than like RPGs.
The Hell Shot. I will. I mean, it's hard for me to get excited for games I've already played. Like I'm not one of these people that just gonna double dip on a bunch of stuff. Huh?
What's SW2?
SWs2?
Switch 2.
In my opinion,
oh, Switch 2
has better.
Switch 2.
Lineup for. I mean, yeah, if you didn't play those games.
Better than what?
Better, yeah. Switch 1.
Yeah, I disagree.
Switch 1 didn't have this huge variety. It didn't have a bunch of, I guess a couple-year-old games.
Had the game at launch.
It had a huge variety.
Had the game at launch. It didn't have a huge variety, but it had the game at launch that people put 200 some hours into. Most of us did.
It's hard, like I said.
And then you knew you knew what was coming. That's what I'm saying. If I knew, I'd be more excited if I knew certain things were coming. But at this point, I don't know.
Are you excited for Kirby Air Riders? No footage?
Not at all.
Hell yeah.
I'm not at all excited for that game.
Absolutely.
So it's just one of those things. Like I said before, if you're a Nintendo only,
all of us love the GameCube, man. We're looking forward to a sequel of a GameCube game. Shut the fuck up.
Man,
in the year where you got Mario Kart.
That's all GameCube, son, on that bottom two shelves. Oh, and over here too, you can't see this shit. I got GameCube. Hold on, let me move to the side. That's a row of GameCube right there as well. Give me some GameCube. But what I'm saying is the market didn't love GameCube, and there's certain, like I said, worried me about it.
I'd say
I'm not saying that's the same thing for Switch 2, but what I'm saying is Switch 1, the launch day, launch week, there wasn't a lot there. You had like fucking Bomberman, Super Bomberman. Nobody cared about that other than me and Retro.
I bought it.
Super Bomberman
and Terrell, I think Terrell was
saying.
Super Bomberman art.
We had, the digital stuff like Snipper Clips. That was a cool game. I still love Snipper Clips. That was awesome. We had obviously Breath of the Wild. There was stuff. I mean, I guess it came a little later. What was that? Snake Pass and shit. Like that was cool.
Yeah,
I like that kind of stuff.
Weeks,
Yeah, it was a little later.
And
then we had the F-Zero, what is it? Fast RMX, which is fucking phenomenal game, beautiful game. It was a port, but what I'm saying is we knew about stuff far beyond that. By the time the Switch had came out, like we knew about Mario Odyssey, we knew about Splatoon and ARMS, and I don't know if we knew about ARMS yet. Did we know about ARMS?
I feel like they showed that.
Yeah, we knew about ARMS from the January, right?
Mm-hmm.
January.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of the excitement came from.
We knew about the whole first year.
Right. It wasn't about the launch day. That's not what I'm not talking about that. I'm good, for the most part. I'm good. A launch day. I'm just saying I can't be as excited as I was with the Switch because I knew a whole lot of shit about Switch when I had it in my hands. I knew what was coming that I was really excited about, and we don't know that yet with Switch 2.
And I'd say
that's the only reason.
I think the thing is that just because it's launched in June, like we knew about it because we knew about it, like I said, an extra 3 months. I'll be curious to see what does come out January, February, March. They're not talking about anything like that. But
shit. Switch came out in March.
Yeah, that's an extra 3 months. That's what I'm saying. It's an extra 3 months. March, April, May. So it came out March 3rd. So it was like literally an extra 3 months of software.
Yeah, but we knew stuff that was way down the line. We knew about Xenoblade Chronicles 2. We knew about
December.
Yeah, but it was still
we knew about.
but I'm talking about like the calendar year. Like I don't know if they were really gonna talk about January 2026, February 2026. Should they? Maybe
you got enough time, to put out again a ARMS or a Splatoon 2. You have time at the end of the year to put that type of stuff out. That's the same distance. It was from not even.
But I mean, I would argue again. We talked about it before. I would argue like the first, I guess we're talking literally first 6 months. I do think is better than the Switch 1 personally, because again, like
what am I missing?
We're talking obviously Mario Kart World. You got Donkey Kong Bonanza. Those alone are like I was like damn.
Yeah.
And then obviously I know you don't get Kirby's Air Ride, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment, Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon Legends ZA. Like those are big.
You can't count Metroid Prime 4.
How can you not count them? We count Breath of the Wild. You have to count
Switch 1 game.
Okay, well then we don't count Breath of the Wild. Now it's even worse.
I felt the same way, but the game came out. It didn't matter. That game came out.
What? They're not coming out. Metroid Prime 4 and Z are not coming out. What are you talking about?
Okay, but we've known about Metroid Prime for fucking 8 years.
We knew about Breath of the Wild for like 4 years.
It's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna be the same as a game as a Odyssey was. It's not gonna have the same impact. Own that game forever. Is what I'm saying. We know what we know what Prime is.
Some people are gonna be Metroid Prime like is at this point. The game of the year maybe. We don't know that. Like that could end up being a huge game. We don't know.
I'll just leave it. I'll say it this way.
It's
a good thing the development took so long, because without Metroid Prime 4, I would say that's the saving grace for the first 6 months. I mean, Mario Kart World's a great launch title, but after that, without Metroid Prime 4, if that had released last year on Switch, then I'm like, I might go a year, 9 months before I buy another game for the Switch 2 type of thing.
That
So
dying
And
hype of a
again,
new
take
Mario
Breath of
Kart
the
and a new and a
take Breath of the
3D
Wild out.
Donkey Kong, it's sad.
And it definitely went into me.
Take
First
Breath of
6
the
months,
Wild out. We still knew a whole lot about a whole lot of games for that first year early on with the Switch. We don't know that with Switch 2. Unless again, I'm missing something.
again, you take Breath of the Wild out, then I definitely don't think it went.
And I will say,
first 6 months versus first 6 months, I don't think so.
whether it's a Wii U
Again,
cross,
Mario Odyssey is not even in the first 6 months. Technically, it's the 7th month. It's technically not even the 6th month. It's not in that span.
All right, come on now. Come on now. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
We have to. If why are you going to compare? If we're talking comparing first 6 months,
At least I'm talking about this goddamn calendar year. Get this cynical.
Exactly.
Oh, this was 6 months and 5 days away. I'm talking about this calendar year. I know about way more games that I was super excited for on Switch than I know about for Switch 2. That's just what it is. That's just
but you have 3 months less time.
outside of Nintendo games too.
I don't expect there to
Outside of
be
Nintendo
anything
games as well.
major in January, February. There might be could be a March game. But I do want to address, for me personally, a new Zelda game, a Breath of the Wild, I don't care if it's a cross-gen or whatever, is worth 20 Cyberpunks, worth 20 2-3-year-old ports of PS4 or PS5 games. Like, yeah, it's cool.
It's a new game, yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, when did that come out? Like 2018, 2019, 2020?
2020.
Like, yeah, that's cool if you haven't played these games. But again, I mean, other than the Virtual Fighter, I played all the other ones. Elden Ring, Street Fighter 6, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy 7. That's cool that they're there, but, and I guess
it's a lot like Wii U up in this.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
It's a lot like Wii U.
It might be better versions than the Wii U versions.
But I will also say we don't know about a lot of third-party games in general this year. And that's because a lot of people were
okay. So you're agreeing with what I'm saying. We don't know, and that's why I'm not as excited. If I knew,
I don't agree with
I could be more excited.
Third-party wise, if we're talking AAA third-party wise, they've all avoided GTA 6 release date, and no one wanted to give a release date for anything.
Except Borderlands.
And now finally with that, like you have Borderlands 4, but other than that, like
Nintendo ain't worried about no GTA 6.
I know
Nintendo's not worried
about the third-party
people. Third parties are
now they might not even had games ready. They might have said.
So why don't I know? Because if I do know, then I'm not. I'm still not.
Yeah, we don't even know on any system
what Nintendo's dropping for holiday. I don't even know when Metroid Prime coming out.
You don't care about, but it's
why don't I know when Metroid Prime 4 is coming out?
That is a big thing.
Why don't I know when Metroid Prime 4 coming out? Why don't I know that?
I don't think
at
they
this
know.
point.
I mean, like the release date.
I mean, come on.
I mean, okay, if you want, I agree with that. If you want to know,
do you think they know?
How can I be excited when you don't even know when your game's coming out?
Do you think they know when it's coming out? They just haven't told us. They think they're saving it to be an announcement, or do you think it's still up in the air?
I'm sure they know at this point. I'm guessing they know at this point, but
they have to know. I mean, it's May. You would think they have to know. I honestly thought it was gonna be like August, and that's 3 months. I feel like it's not in that case, So you would think. I don't know.
Like,
I would agree with that. I would think you already have released.
Again, I think you guys are missing it. Switch 1 launch was not very exciting outside of Breath of the Wild. What I'm saying is I was more excited for the Switch console as a whole because I knew I saw a lot what was coming that year. From Nintendo, not only just Nintendo, but from third parties as well. I was blown away by fucking Mario Plus Rabbids. Like, that was one of my favorite games on the Switch. So
yeah, it's just hard.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the Switch 2 launch day or whatever is not as good as and technically it's not because it doesn't have Zelda. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't see enough yet from Nintendo that made me excited for Switch 2 the way it does Switch 1.
I could have.
When the Switch 1 came out, I was like, oh, I got all this shit to look to. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be an amazing year, and it was. 2017 was one of the greatest years of Nintendo history of all time. So,
probably should have pushed a couple games into 2018.
They probably should. In hindsight,
didn't they have?
We saw the turn in 2018. Boy.
Didn't they have like a?
Turning.
They had Fire Emblem Warriors.
Fire Emblem Warriors right before.
Right, like the week,
like a week before Odyssey. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, why do that? You could have saved that shit.
That was weird. They could have put that in January.
People,
February,
I don't
March.
know about a
Could have been
direct.
January, February. Yeah, like that would have been a beautiful game for January, February, March.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Do they need a direct in this summer? I think it's gonna be fall. I mean, they
I would expect a direct like July.
I'm thinking July. Yeah, I was thinking.
I
I was
think they'll
like,
do something in July.
they'll probably do something in July
They
when
did-
Donkey Kong,
remember,
around
when
Donkey
you were
Kong.
looking at the 2017, they did have like an
They had
April
E3.
direct. No, but they had an April direct
Oh,
the
did
month
they?
right after
Yeah.
the Switch came out. So
guess
if these three lines up, July. To be fair, if they do a
Yeah.
repeat,
we don't know
which they have been
Pokemon.
repeating everything.
Which
Yeah.
Nintendo barely ever does. So you can't put your hat on that one. But
No, but this July.
I'm thinking July.
You know what I mean? They've been repeating a lot of things for Switch 1 to Switch 2, you know. They announce it and 3 months later they release it and then you know they keep doing that stuff.
I
so-
don't see them doing one until after Donkey Kong comes out. Like I don't see them
That's
doing
July.
I
before.
think it'll be around. I think it'll be around, or
You
They're
don't think
gonna-
they'll do a
Donkey
direct
Kong as
so
well.
before Donkey Kong comes out so they can feature it in the direct?
No,
Yeah, I think it would make more sense to do it before,
I don't see it.
because it's it is
Even
a
if
game
it's
you
a
have to
week
go out
early,
and buy
it could be a week
after the launch.
A week before they'll have a launch, overview.
I think they're gonna
trailer.
do an
When is
overview
it? When is
trailer.
Donkey Kong?
It's the middle of the July. It's like, let's see.
That was July 8th
Donkey
or
Kong
something.
Bonanza.
Because people thought it was August.
It was like early July.
July 17th. Yeah, it's
17th.
the middle.
Oh, 17. Okay.
I mean, just going off their
So,
history,
yeah,
they seem
that-
to do
That's a
directs
perfect time.
after game
Everybody
release.
will be done by then. You have complete attention at that point
Yeah.
to say, hey, this we got coming for Switch 2 for the rest of the year. Get ready, get your money ready for the holiday. If you wait and buy this bitch in the holiday
That's when
season,
they'll announce
this is what you're gonna
Metroid
have.
Prime 4 release date.
And
That's when
Pokemon.
Yeah,
And the
I think
Pokemon,
so.
well, I
Yeah.
think the Pokemon release date will be announced before then. Well,
And then I think I honestly, if there's gonna be Microsoft games, I think they're gonna do it at their summer showcase.
Right, I think Microsoft will probably
oh,
do
isn't
it
that,
at their
yeah, it's
showcase.
next month or something, right? Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, maybe you think they're gonna announce games that already have released for Microsoft themselves for Switch trailers? I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Like, let's say, like,
Microsoft said they're gonna put logos of
no,
everybody's
I know,
shit.
but like that's
They
like
don't care.
Doom the Dark Age, right? It's gonna be already out by then.
Yeah.
Are they gonna be like, here's a new trailer of
Why
Doom
not?
the
well, they
Dark Age
did it
Switch 2?
for Indiana Jones at
Yeah.
that one event.
They
It
did it
wasn't
for-
a
yeah.
Microsoft event, but it was at like the Games Fest. Or
Exactly, it
whatever.
wasn't a Microsoft event, so that's why I don't think I don't know.
It's a
And
whole
Microsoft
market.
show would be
Microsoft
weird.
to win it. They're trying to make money. So
I don't know.
I
but
don't see
I
why
think
they
they would
would
do
do
that. I think they do that at a Nintendo Direct. I would assume, because I think Nintendo
Yeah.
would like to have Doom the Dark Ages to show it off themselves. Oh, here's Doom the Dark Ages.
Indiana Jones would be a great game for the Switch too. Just saying, that would be
Mouse
Here's
controls.
maybe
a
yeah,
good
maybe,
game.
here's Indiana Jones and Avowed, and Flight Simulator and Gears of
Bruh.
War.
Bruh. Like I
Halo.
don't care, but man, that would be some hitters for Switch 2 that
That's what I'm
Nintendo
saying,
fans don't have access to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
I mean-
then the excitement can start to
Gears
ramp
gotta
up.
come. Gears
see
has
stuff
to
like
come.
that.
I mean, if it's coming to PS5, I feel like it's got to come to Switch.
Gears will probably come for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because it's only the first one.
Gotta
So
get
now,
Sea
like,
of
it's a
Thieves
whole-
there first, though.
So you just got to go everywhere.
11 by ZD.
That'd be a perfect game chat game.
Yeah, that bit has tons.
It
Oh,
would
that'd
be a
perfect.
game chat game for
It
them.
Same
really
with
would.
Grounded. They gotta have a
That'd be a
Switch 2
great game
edition.
chat game.
Found it again? Yeah, they could.
You
they
think
could do
Switch
that.
One games do those work with game chat? I think it would, because they showed they
Because
showed playing
they
like
showed it
Switch
before
Online,
them.
but they showed did they show
They
crap?
showed Mario Wonder and Kirby
Okay, yep,
gameplays.
yep.
Yeah.
Switch 2
All
can
it
have
is
the
is literally
I
just a
get- I
browser
version of
system and you have
Crackdown
your
3.
game chat up.
The Switch 2
all-
can have the definitive version of Crackdown 3 with actually destructible.
Yeah.
environment.
The cloud, the extra time,
Right.
the destruction. That's
There's
one of
also a
Nobody
rumor.
want no crackhead.
There's a rumor, although I think that's for Switch One, but there's a rumor that they're remastering GTA 4 and they're bringing it to Switch.
Man, I don't want no. Man, go sit down somewhere with that.
I don't. That's not even
Rockstar
much of a
would get rocked.
remaster. If for Switch
Yeah,
One,
I mean, supposedly it's a remaster.
it's gonna be
to
a
bring it
port.
to-
I don't want to call it a remaster.
Well, yeah, probably
Yeah,
just
it's gonna be a
port.
That's
but
gonna be a
it's-
port,
But it's coming to Switch One.
an enhanced port.
It might run at a higher resolution, but I don't expect too much more from
That's
Yeah.
about it.
That was a pretty
Isn't that
impressive
What was the
crazy?
original
Like,
game?
we're gonna
That
get all
game-
those GTA's, but not GTA 5 on Switch One.
I've heard a couple people talking recently, like in two separate, completely separate videos, saying that they retried GTA 5 recently and said it's like a completely. I don't know if they're talking. I think it was just the main game.
Oh, yeah, the
And-
game's completely different.
And they said it's just like a completely different experience when they, like, me, gave up on it on the 360. And like,
Well, I don't know about the single player. It's the same. It's the same.
Single player is pretty much the same.
Single player.
but
There's
the
nothing. They didn't touch
multiplayer,
anything in the
the-
single player. It's just a high
Yeah.
resolution frame rate. There's nothing.
I think
Well, they
because
add,
of the
like,
first person
mode and
mode,
shit like that.
Well, first person, but does that change the
and
game? I don't know.
I don't know if the controls have been improved. That was my big gripe. Was the
No.
cover
Trust me, the
system
controls have
sucks.
not changed. I
No,
promise you.
it's still GTA.
They ain't gonna
It's still
revamp that.
GTA.
That's in Red Dead 2, so they ain't going backwards to revamp.
Yeah, that's in their engine. That shit is baked in, son.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
It could be more
The only thing
responsive
that's like a brand new game is like GTA Online. They always are adding so
I feel
many-
the same way about Witcher 3, but it's still a phenomenal game, even with all that bullshit as dodge rolling.
It looked like Assassin's Creed-esque, like Assassin's Creed 4 era combat, Witcher 3, but with some spells and stuff that kind of mix it up. But
What about
Um,
Assassin's Creed? You know, they got the Ubisoft games supposedly coming. I don't know how they're gonna space those out, but that's a big-
Ubisoft need Switch 2 right now.
we'll we'll see.
They need a joke.
Assassin's Creed Shadows actually is like visually incredible. Like I've seen some
Yeah.
footage of it. Yeah, it's a pretty static.
Hey, Ubisoft, can we
Environments.
get Rayman Legends?
There's, I mean, after having played Avatar on PS5, like that's definitely way more dense than what I've seen of like Assassin's Creed or Star Wars Outlaws, and that
Oh, yeah,
has
Avatar.
the upscaling on PS5,
That
the
gameplay,
FSR or whatever, isn't very good. But maybe with DLSS, they could have a competent looking version. But I don't think that game
Agrees.
sold that great, so I don't know if they would
Yeah, I
bother.
just think they're not going to care.
But
Maybe they release it with the next movie.
yeah,
Oh,
Try to
that's
get
true.
some sales out of that.
Do that.
that is. I went to this website, tells you what games come on the disc and what form. And Avatar is the only game PS5 game I own that is not. There's no playable version on the disc. It's like 60 gigs. It's completely. You can't play it. Can't boot it up. I got a couple games that the whole game's there, but it's like Forbidden West and Returnal were very glitchy.
Yeah.
It's a very glitchy version, but it's at least it's the full game, but it's not ideal. But of course, it would be Ubisoft. Would be the only one I have that the whole game is. You can't just. You couldn't.
It's
Without
being
internet.
less and less for these physical games. Sad situation.
I was
So
I was happy to find out though, like
play old games.
that all the other games I have are at least there is a complete version that you can beat on the disc, but it's just really it's a principle thing. I ain't
Well, it's
too-
very much a principal thing because I mean,
I ain't too worried, 20 years from now about trying to. You're gonna be able to find what you need to, even if you need a patch. Like you're gonna be able to download patches and play these games some way or
Download
another.
that shit on PC.
With technology in the
You're gonna be able-
future, you're gonna be able to you'll be able to get around any of
emulate it
this.
on PC. You gonna
But-
get it.
I do like that. If you have a disc that can hold 100 gigabytes and your game's 80, just put the whole game on there. Like I know you're gonna patch it later on and improve upon it, but at least have the game on there if there's room.
20 years. Don't worry about retiring. I ain't working on no damn game. I guess I'd be playing video games in my retirement.
Hopefully I'll be able to play. If I don't have like arthritis and shit. And my hands have
Right,
gotten.
you-
I actually
but-
hands are a lot better than they were years ago. I don't know what I was doing wrong or different. I used to have a lot of issues with my hands. It was something. My wrists. I mean, not to add on to this, but I literally
your
would have.
wrist.
I literally had to wear like wrist supports like 3, 4, 5 years ago, like all the time at
Damn.
work. I don't have those issues anymore, so I don't know what happened. But I'm glad because
How can Switch use game chat without the C
you
button?
can't. You can play Switch 1 games on your Switch 2. There's no game chat.
Oh,
There's no
shit.
RAM. There's not enough RAM for game chat on the Switch 1. I think they said they
Yeah.
wanted to try it on the Switch 1, but couldn't.
I think it's a funny idea. It's funny. I think it's funny the idea of Microsoft hyping up Switch 2 games in their showcase.
What about
Microsoft's a different beast now, bro.
What about using the mouse on the menu? You can use the mouse mode on the Switch
I like
menu.
that. I didn't know that you could do that, but I saw.
I don't know how much
think it's
that's
gonna be great
for typing.
for
Yeah,
keypads.
yeah.
Typing. It's gonna be great for that specifically. Other than that, I'm not gonna use it. But like for typing, yeah, that'd be cool. Be the most
It
ideal
depends
way to
on
do
like if they could have it laid out differently. Maybe it'd be cool to use the mouse to pick your game. But the other, I've heard a couple positives.
They definitely do that because
I've heard some very positive opinions on the mouse, but I also heard like in Metroid Prime, you still got to use all 4 face buttons, and if you're trying to hold the skinny thing, you got to use the analog stick and the 4 face buttons. That's where they need to get. They need to get it so you can attach your Joy-Con to something like this, and then you just rest in your hand so you can easily use your thumb and grip. Like
there will be something like that.
It's got to be out like pretty quick before Metroid Prime 4 comes out.
Before Prime 4, hopefully.
And somebody's gonna have a 3D print.
Will you play
file.
Will you actually play it with like a sensor, like a motion, like
I would play it with the mouse controls if they add. If somebody has a mouse accessory that makes it comfortable. Otherwise, I'd do the gyro.
I would play gyro probably.
Gyro worked great in Metroid Prime 1.
There's no way I see people. A lot of people actually freaking use mouse controls for Prime, man. I just don't see it.
I see a lot of people, man.
I think a decent amount of people use it.
Any PC guy, any
I don't
PC,
know if they're actually gonna do that.
Yeah, like I said, maybe with just the Joy-Con, the thin Joy-Con, they'd be like, "Nah, it's too crampy. My hands."
Well, here's the problem: it's not a first person shooter. You can do it for that. It is a what did Nintendo coin it?
First person
adventure. Yeah, so you can't do Twitch shooting and shit. First of all, you do it in Prime game. You're not doing that, so it's not going to operate the same way. Yeah, like you're not facing off against 50 enemies at once. You know, it's
but for some people,
4, maybe 5 enemies.
It's just gonna feel the most natural. Like, but they're gonna be their left hand's gonna be confused because they're not holding damn keys, which I always hated.
Yeah.
So
wait, what? I'm a lefty. I don't use my left mouse though.
No, I'm saying they're not. You got to use a split Joy-Con in your left hand instead of a mouse. So keyboard and mouse players
instead of a keyboard
are going to be like.
That's what's going to be cool about it. That's what I like about it is that you have the.
I've been asking that for years. Give me a nunchuck in my left hand and a mouse in my other. I'd play keyboard and mouse. I'd play with the mouse in every game. I just can't stand using the keyboard and the jump button with the space bar, shift to run. It's just it's stupid. I think
it literally doesn't make sense.
The aiming is amazing though. Like Portal 2 with mouse aiming is amazing. This is so good.
Yeah,
I couldn't play that with a controller.
Everything with a controller, man. I don't want my hand to be sliding over the table and shit. Like I don't care.
Well, you don't have to relax, man. Why you do it? Where you go putting your
just
whole
get a
arm?
little
getting all chafed and shit right here. You don't want that shit. I don't want that.
It'd be fine as long as like I can keep my arm
you're
flat.
Attached, you know, that's what I mean. Like you're more free with a controller.
I don't know.
You get weird.
That's why the Wii.
You know,
That's
like
one thing I love about the Wii, though. The Wii controller. I was sitting on my couch like this, the quad running behind me, just gaming like this.
Chilling, just chilling. It was great.
And so, look, I am hoping the slightly bigger size of the Joy-Cons make me just be like, that's it. I'm using this more often than I did on the Switch one.
Apparently,
I don't need any special Joy-Cons to make my hands comfortable. This shit actually feels good. That's what I'm hoping for.
At the demos, all the demos, they're using the grip, charging grip, obviously because they got to keep it wired. And they said the standard, it has the back buttons on the charging grip, but not the default grip. It doesn't have any buttons. The back buttons aren't there, so you can't. It doesn't. The charging grip could possibly be a good alternative to a Pro Controller, but it's $30 extra on top. Might as well.
The charging grip?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like I'd have to look that up. You talking about like the charging grip?
The charging grip is separate. It has obviously you charge your Joy-Cons and it has the back buttons on it. It's $30.
Oh, I didn't know it has the back buttons on it. I didn't know that.
And then the grip that comes with the Switch is just the non-charging. It doesn't have the back buttons. It's just a empty shell.
I think honestly, have you seen?
Which is that charging grip?
$30.
But a lot of people that have been playing the Joy-Con separately also have the little like wrist strap on it, like that thing.
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like it gives it a little bit extra kind of girth to that might actually be able to.
Did you watch Kit and Krista's videos? They did not want to talk about how big it felt in their hands and stuff. They're trying to
Oh yeah, no, I didn't
dodge around saying the word big and how it feeling.
Is that the one where you're talking about? We finally played.
They finally played the Bravely Default demo. That's the only way they got to play it.
Okay.
Kit and Krista can't get to a Switch 2 event. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
we're
normal people now.
I know, but still, they know a ton of people.
Even Jeff Keighley couldn't get in, man.
Yeah, but you expect them to get some.
Fuck Jeff Keighley. Did you see Death Stranding 2? They allowed 30-hour preview for the game for press. They got to play 30 hours of the game
because it takes that long before it starts getting good.
Of course, Jeff Keighley's just gushing. He's like, "This is the Metal Gear Solid 2. This is his next."
I did see it.
And everyone's like, "Yeah, Jeff's you're a little biased."
I'm sorry. You might be telling the truth, but I can't take anything you say about any Kojima game. I just can't. I just don't believe it. You might be telling the truth.
I saw some pretty cool gameplay, though, I will say.
You need a different source.
It looked a lot more action-y, shooter-y.
The game always looked good.
The actual combat looked really good. So I was like, dang.
But but I mean, I haven't seen much, but I would assume that majority of the game is still the walking across.
Package delivery.
They didn't really show any of that. I didn't see anything, but I guess that's still in it, but.
You'd assume he's still a mailman.
Strand gameplay.
Well, that's what that's the whole point of the game, right? Is technically it's like connecting the world together, and you're a mailman. And you're a mailman, so you do
Amazon play USPS 1. I'm
without a truck.
USPS 2.
But I have seen more action stuff. I'm like, is he not a mailman
at some point?
What happened? Did he quit his?
I don't know if I could sit through those cinematics of nonsense though.
Those cinematics had me super hyped in the beginning, and then you start seeing the gameplay. And even now, when I think of the gameplay, I just see this guy with the package walking ass slow over the hill. I don't care. I don't want to play that.
I actually saw some funny ass shit though from that with falling down, the physics. Yep. Everyone's like, well, once you can get vehicles and you build roads, it's actually really good.
That was some of my favorite content coming from Next Gen, bro. When that game was starting to come out.
I mean, Donkey had a funny video.
The funniest shit, bro. Yeah. The funniest. He used to talk so much shit about that game. It was so funny, bro.
Is that
when will Death Stranding?
Is that on Xbox? Did Death Stranding 1 come to Xbox?
It did. It did last year.
It was
super. It was literally. It came out
I thought about looking for the director's cut on PS5. I didn't, but I thought about it for.
I got it for free. Well, not free. I hate to say that. On fucking Humble Bundle. I don't know Humble Bundle. Yeah.
I don't think you did.
Humble Bundle was more free than Game Pass.
So Death Stranding director's cut.
You don't have either. If you believe that.
I bought a ton of Humble Bundle. That's why I said it, man. You pay $1, you get 20 AAA games and shit.
It is crazy.
I'm still waiting on my Expedition 33 game.
I've been buying it for years. That's the reason my Steam library is so huge.
It shipped.
Same here. That's why my Steam library is insane. But
I placed on April 26th. I ordered it on April 26th, and Expedition 33 is finally shipped, arriving Wednesday.
God damn.
And then
there goes the new game.
And then I ordered Ninja Scroll on Blu-ray.
That's on the cart or on the disc.
On the cart.
Did I look that one up? I think I did. Yeah,
it should be on the cart.
Yeah, it is.
It should be on Switch too. God damn it.
Well, they had a small team. It's not. I don't think they were going to be able to put it on a bunch of different platforms at launch. But
I'm sure. I'm just saying. At some point, I think
it's still 4 million copies. Now they could just say, "Hey, porting studio, go do that."
Yeah.
For me.
they put it on fucking 3 platforms at once. I don't see why.
Yeah. Is it on PC?
Too hard to do on Switch too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it's the biggest.
That's why I play it.
I saw a stat. Yeah, it was because the people that were playing it, it was 40% on Xbox. It was 35% PC and 30 whatever's left. It was
8% on
PC,
Xbox 'cause you had to get it for free.
and then they listed the average hour,
Game
the
Pass.
average time played, and it was like 4.5 hours on PS5, 4 hours on PC. It was like 2 hours on Xbox. So even though I had the
Well, I
most,
mean, a
God
lot of
damn.
people on Game Pass, they tried it, and it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah, they tried and bounced.
if they
continue,
took
they don't.
if they took out the people who just downloaded it and maybe played the first 15
It'd
minutes,
probably be the same amount.
it probably people who are actually playing it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember seeing the PC listed in that. But I mean, good for them. And it's crazy. It seems like turn-based
I'm happy
RPGs
for
are
'em.
like
Right.
almost
It's a
guaranteed
turn-based RPG
success.
in
Guaranteed
2025.
success, almost like Baldur's Gate. I'm not saying every turn-based, but there does seem to be a big fan, like group of
Resurgence.
people that love turn-based. Like I was at a Disc Trader and I had them open up the Super NES and NES section so I could look at some games, and some guy had just brought his entire Dragon Quest, but it wasn't called. It was before they were called Dragon Quest. The first two
Dragon Warrior.
Dragon Warriors in the box, sealed, and he
Yep.
brought his entire entire collection of those games unopened, sealed, and they were selling for they were trying to sell for $500, $600, $700 depending on the one. He's like, "You interested?"
It was called Dragon Warrior up until what, 8? At least in
Was it?
Japan.
I remember. I swear it was
all the way
called
up to
Dragon
8.
Quest back on the
No.
NES, but
It was called Dragon Quest in the West, though. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, it was always Dragon Warrior Japan.
well, this
It
said
might
Dragon
still
Warriors.
be. I don't
on it.
know if it still is, but
And he's
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to
Yeah.
sell me
Yeah.
on these, and I'm like, what did you give the guy?
the first couple.
I was like, "You're selling these for this game for $600. What did you actually give?" Well, we usually give about 40%. We don't screw him over. I'm like, 40%. Why does his ass sell him? Why wouldn't he just sell it himself? But either way, I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not big into the turn based. He's like, "What? Oh my god, my favorite genre." Another guy was like, "Yeah, I love turn based." I'm like, "Yeah, I never got into it." Shit, I forgot the title. We kind of got into it, but I forgot what the title was supposed to be. Expectation for
Are you
third party.
sure?
A little bit into it.
We were supposed to like go all in on like what games we think are coming.
Oh,
I'll have to change the title and do this
we'll have to do that for
next
next
week.
weekend.
What IPs do you
I'm
expect?
pretty sure.
So I'm gonna change the title. I forgot all about that. We're out of time.
No. Shit.
What can we call this one? What did we talk about the most? Just
The most
Talk
we
about
talked
Switch
about-
2?
Launch
Switch
lineup,
2
I think.
exciting.
We could do Switch 1 versus Switch 2 launch.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that was basically our main topic.
Switch
I have to find it because I'm pretty sure.
Switch 2 launch is worse than Switch 1? Question mark, exclamation
Who
mark.
said that? Dragon Warrior. I'm pretty sure my PlayStation, because I have the Japanese copy, or the Japanese case of Dragon Quest 7, which is, and I'm pretty sure it was Dragon Quest or Warrior in Japan. I have to find that shit.
But it
Does
says it
Mario
was
Kart
Dragon
World
Warrior
have
1 on 4 on
missions?
NES in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
I have to find
4
my
of them.
case.
There was 4 games there, so that makes sense.
As you could do a Switch
It's gonna be
2
too hard.
Switch 2
worse than
lineup.
Switch 1 launch.
Switch 2 lineup
Devastated,
Mario Kart
sad,
World Mission.
depressing.
and
Sad, depressing. Not as
Switch
good as
2
one.
What we do is Switch 2 worst launch lineup ever. Is all
well,
There you go.
what's OJ's
That's
title for
10,000.
today?
Yeah.
We'll just use the OJ's
That's
title.
10,000 views.
Somebody go to Player Essence and tell me what his title is for today's video. We'll just copy
I
it.
got to
It's
find
today's
it.
video. I don't even know. Let me see.
Oh, I mean, I can use that.
I love how like hating on key cards is like somehow a bad thing. Like you should be mad about key cards, I feel.
Just make the title like Mr.
I
T
can
says
understand
Switch 2
both
launch
sides
is
of the course,
garbage.
but I personally.
And
you know, I'm in
GameCube
the party
sucks.
for it.
Switch 2 lineup and GameCube's trash. That's what we'll put.
What? Oh, he just put huge Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, Dragon
2.
Warrior 7. I know what I'm talking about, bro. I'm looking at it right here.
I'll just put
I'm
looking
telling
at
you,
the
the Switch 2 launch
It's
worse
Dragon
than
Warrior
Switch
7 is
1,
right here.
exclamation.
I ain't crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
Switch
Sorry, I'm
2
cutting you off.
will Switch 2 launch worse than Switch 1? Question mark? Exclamation point. With the worst being in all caps.
I don't know everything, but I know a little bit about games. I know a little bit.
All right, so yeah, thanks you guys for tuning in, and oh wait, I'm still editing. I can't end the stream till I finish my editing the title and description. So let me.
I see Donnie Arson, his video's tittle. I know you meant to say title, but
Tittle.
This is tittle.
What was that clip you shared where I laughed my ass off the other last week or whatever?
It was because it was a Senran Kagura pinball game, and Terrell was like naming but he was naming the girls that are in the pinball. These people that are just getting hit, their titties bouncing.
Wait,
and,
I'm confusing myself.
He's like, and then he's saying their names. I'm like, they have names?
Yeah, and I just busted
and
up.
he's like,
oh man, that was hilarious.
It has names. And I'm like, come on, these guys. I honestly didn't think they had names. They just looked like there for arousal. That's it. Like,
what about the one where Retro was like, all of a sudden we heard, and we're like, T and I both were like, what are you fapping? And like almost at the same time.
Yeah. He was pressing on like he was playing Luigi Mansion because he was going and then it was like, but his tone sounded like so. And then she was hilarious.
Yeah, there's some good clips from the old podcast.
Yeah,
so.
some great ones. Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get out of here, and we're one more week closer to the launch of the Switch 2. We're 3 weeks out, and
let's go.
Yeah. So hopefully we get clocked it on either right before or after.
Maybe he'll be excited.
Yeah. He was the least excited from the original trailer.
Yeah. We'll have. I'll tell you, we got to do a podcast on Game Chat.
Yeah, that's just gimmicks shit. That's what this is. You want gimmicks. You want Nintendo gimmicks all over the place. Nobody wanted to buy it then, except for you Nintendo weirdos.
The Nintendo juices all over it.
All right, so we'll see you guys next week. Can't wait to see the timestamps ? Comment in a couple days. I have yet to